Hello, hello. Welcome back. Sitting here with young Scrimmage.
Yes, sir. It's an honor.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Coming out in this kind of weather and shit. God, I just want to hibernate.
You got to do what you got to do.
Times. This is the kind of weather where you got to, this is like the creating weather. Stay inside, write, work on some shit or whatever.
Some chill beats and that kind of stuff, you know?
Then we all like unleash all of our shit during the summer. Here's what we've been doing all fucking winter.
Yep, spring and summer, that's a go time.
Yes, sir. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a producer, correct?
Yes, sir. I'm a producer in the Eastside Sounds studio in East Moline. I've worked on many tracks and hopefully many more.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Where did you get the name Young Scrimmage?
I actually, so when I was making my producer name, I was sitting in my room just like kind of just pondering, you know, what I would name. And I saw on the floor these shoes I just bought recently. It was like, they're like $80. They're called Reebok Scrimmages. And I said, Young Scrimmage would be a great name. That's when it kind of clicked for me then. I just kind of went with it. And then the tag came along from K-Swank, and then here we are now, I guess, you know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so, 3 years ago, and it's been a hell of a journey, man, I'll tell you what.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is that around the time you got started, or had you been doing it for a while before then?
Yeah, that's literally when I first started, you know. I didn't have any, I've never worked with music in the past, besides like in school for like music class and that kind of stuff, you know,
Right.
But I've always had an interest in like making music, and it's been a weird experience, like jumping into the world of music without any prior knowledge to it and making something out of it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Did you feel like it was a difficult like learning curve, just getting into that kind of
life,
basically?
Absolutely. The software, like FL Studios, is hard to navigate, and I know the first like 2 years I was heavy on YouTube watching like Curtis King and Busy Works Beats and that kind of stuff, and they tell you a lot of cool things, insider knowledge on FL Studios. I bought courses as well to learn the program better, but I knew once I learned the program that I can make the music that I wanted to, and it's all about experience and time, in my opinion. So over time I got the experience that I have now where I can comfortably make a beat and know it's going to be good, where before it was kind of like a practice thing, and the learning curve was still developing at that point, you know?
Right. So are you using Fruit Loops?
Yes, Fruity Loops. Love it.
Fruity Loops.
FL12 to be specific, I guess.
You ever mess with any other ones, or do you stick to that one?
I like, when I work with like Fantana, I'll like, you know, cross over into Ableton sometimes, but it's a foreign, you know, software for me.
Yeah.
Like FL is so native to me. I love the way it's laid out. It's really easy for me who is not musically inclined, you know, outside of like, I don't know, theory and that kind of stuff. So being able to kind of press the buttons and like make a sound, it's really nice for me. Ableton's kind of more for like a live musician, I feel like. And a lot of the wave samples and the way you cut things is more accommodated for someone who plays live music.
Ah, okay. Got you. Yeah, I don't think I've ever messed with Ableton or, you know, Fruity Loops like a little bit, like years ago, I think. But yeah, it's weird because, yeah, they can all be different. Like,
what do you use?
I mean, Pro Tools a lot. Pro Tools, and then as far as like making music, I've used like, other than software, I've used like hardware and stuff back in the day.
Gotcha,
like,
yeah, recording stuff.
Basically like drum machine type of equipment, stuff like that. But
and that's where it's at, man.
Software, yeah, pretty much just got Pro Tools and use that. Because like, yeah, sometimes if you want to jump into like a new software or something, it's like a whole nother learning curve. take a month or so just to dive in.
Right, because every single software has different stuff that you know is the same trigger for different softwares, and it's hard. But if you know hardware, that's even better. Obviously, you know, it's you push the button, you record, you lay it down, you know, end record. That's pretty nice, you know.
Yeah, I always like the relationship between like a mix of like software and hardware, you know, using two into one. But Pro Tools is pretty good too. They got a lot of good virtual instruments actually.
So with you working with hardware and software, how is your like, I guess, knowledge of the industry changed, like as far as the transition from hardware from software, I mean?
How has it changed?
Yeah, so like I guess obviously software has made hardware kind of obsolete.
Right.
I mean, how has that affected you, I guess?
Yeah, and like I said, like I do like Pro Tools because it's easy to use and has some similarities to hardware as far as like the setup. Like I could use like a drum machine plug-in that's kind of set up like an actual physical drum machine might be, and you know, experimenting with that. I feel like personally I have more of a learning curve with the software. Maybe that's just because I used to doing the hardware first. I don't know, but I guess it seems like most people are using software nowadays. But
Yeah.
I don't know, because I guess everyone's different. It just depends on their like preference. Because you know, obviously there's still people using like drum machines and shit. But I don't know. I mean, I think it keeps getting better. Like I think there's coming out with like more pieces of hardware that are kind of easier to use along with software nowadays, I guess. Like I've seen there's some like pieces of equipment I've been looking at, maybe thinking about picking up a couple things, but I don't know.
Like what?
I'm looking at some stuff from Korg, the Electribe, and that's what I started using before. Like I have a Korg Electribe, but like an older version. Now they have like a newer one, you know, and that thing's crazy. It's like a big square fucking thing, tiny little buttons all over it, and it even uses like vacuum tubes, like, so it looks like some vintage piece of like electronic equipment. You know, it looks like some old drum machine synthesizer thing. I just like the feel of hands-on, you know.
Yeah,
I guess
rather than software and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, the learning curve, I guess I just pick up the hardware maybe faster. I'm not sure, because this thing is kind of crazy. It has like 16 little buttons across the bottom that you could hit keyboard mode and then play it like a keyboard. Or you use it as like 16 steps, like as a beat, you know, like the bar or whatever. But so it's pretty diverse.
That's insane. And it's kind of like made to look vintage.
Yeah.
That's really
cool. I don't know
cool.
if they were purposely like trying to make it look that way, but
it's a good idea.
It looks really dope.
I love like vintage shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
I think like that piece of equipment, I think like in the future it'll be looked back on as like, ooh, this rare fucking, or you know,
rare piece.
Yeah, like, or something that's highly desired maybe.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, and it has like a ribbon arpeggiator, you know, for like scales
on the side.
and shit. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
And yeah, so I've been looking at the newer models that they came up with now that look different and a little bit more modern and sleek looking. But
how much are they?
Maybe 400.
That's not bad at all for
it's not
equipment.
bad. Like
Damn.
for what it is, like it's basically like a step sequencer, you know, so you can lay out beats and stuff. And like the model that I had, they had a red one and then they had like a blue one, mainly the two different units. I had the blue one, which has a lot of built-in sounds, you know, and then you can tweak them in your own way by adding all different effects and whatnot and this and that. Tweak it however you want. Then the red one, which I'd like to pick up one of those still too, is more geared towards like sampling, so you can import more of your own sounds and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. So like the blue one's more of your own kind of work, and then the sampling is a red one. Gotcha. That's pretty cool. Wow.
And I think I'm gonna, when I get the new one, I think I'm gonna go for like the sampler type one, because I feel like that'd be easier.
Is that easier for you to sample than?
Yeah, because I mean you could do a lot with like a built-in sounds and effects, you know, but I just want to expand more, record like weird sounds.
Sure.
Just bang on this couch and there's my bass.
Yeah, get elaborate. Like, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
something like that. Just fuck around. Make like a whole album out of like kitchen utensils or something. You could do like some concept album shit.
And I've seen like, you know, a person that comes to mind that's really talented with that is Wes. He is ungodly with that.
Yeah, shout out to Wes.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, shout out to Wes.
Hell yeah.
I've seen him go in the studio with his keys and use his keys for background sounds, or just like, you know, weird like coins and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's that shit I like. Yeah, doing weird stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's so out of,
keep it interesting, spice it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's out of the norm. It's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I think the Electribe that I want to get now, I don't know how I would use that with like my software necessarily. I mean, I'm getting it as something that I plan to use live, you know, as just a piece of live hardware. But then as far as when I'm recording and using the software, I'll probably just record right into the program.
Sure.
Like I think I would use I might use some stuff from Pro Tools. They got a good library, but I don't know. I just need to experiment with that shit.
Yeah, I mean, are you interested in using like FL and that kind of stuff then, or just Pro Tools where you want to stay for the most part?
I just like Pro Tools because it has the built-in sounds and I own it already.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to buy something else, but
yeah, and learn a whole new program.
But then sometimes if you get like a piece of equipment, it's like, oh, it comes with Ableton Lite, or you know, like some intro software.
Yeah, I've seen that.
so,
You know, it comes with the actual program
Yeah.
along with the purchase of the item. Then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think there's
That one I saw. Yeah,
there's that
Ableton
up there.
Live. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my buddy just gave it to me, and I mean
That's a hell of a gift.
yeah. And it's just something now. It's just decoration. I need to use that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was just wondering if I could use that with Pro Tools, but I don't think so.
You probably could.
Maybe you could.
Yeah. Because I think it has Ableton Live with it, but it might be just for Ableton Live, like formatted for the best compatibility, I guess, you know.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Hella buttons for different shit.
They have a cool one from FL now. Shout out to Scheme. Scheme on the track. He has this like it's called the FL key, I think it's called. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's like a step sequencer, and it's like it's so amazing how it goes with FL. Like it's really made for that program only.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like a lot of cool lights on and that kind of stuff too. It's really amazing, man. It's only like $100 too. And the things I've seen him do with it are just out of this world.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes me like 20 minutes to do some things he does in like a minute on the hardware.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like you get into software and it's a lot of like menus and sub menus.
Yeah,
you know, you got to get into
here, tweaking this reverb
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. You know. Yeah, it's more tedious, I think, if you have software than hardware sometimes.
Yeah. If you just can get a good setup dialed in, it probably would be beneficial. Just you got your hardware, but then you can tweak some software stuff over here.
Exactly.
It's just finding the right balance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it can get overwhelming. Oh, too much equipment or
Yeah.
too little, or I don't know.
Or having like presets, you know, already made and that kind of stuff for your sounds is always a good idea too, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. I should bust that out though.
Yeah, give it a shot.
A bunch of buttons, so I could program so many like samples. But
if not, the lighting's pretty cool though. You know.
I know. I would just use it as like you put it next to your setup and just have the lights going off, so people think, "Oh wow,
the
look at him
camera's
go!"
going.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's so talented. God,
There's so many of those like Instagram videos, or I swear people are just faking it on the drum pad and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? It's lighting
Yeah.
up and all that kind of stuff.
They're
And
using it as a fucking light machine. or
Yeah,
something.
like an aesthetic
stage
tool.
light. Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But I do have, like, when I'm using the software, I got like a, big keyboard to lay down whatever. And I'd like using a keyboard controller that has pads on that too.
Yeah.
So mine's got like several of those. So
Do you have like a Kai or whatever? Or what is it?
What? It's the launch key.
The launch key.
Who was that? Was that? Fuck. Something with a. Maybe it started with an A. The Kai. What was it? The Akai? I don't think.
Yeah, mine's the Akai, or mine just broke actually.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Akai.
unfortunately,
I think it was. Oh yeah, Novation.
so. Novation.
Novation. That was it. Yeah. And see that keyboard might have come with like Ableton Light or something else too.
That's cool. Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I want to get back into that Electribe. That thing's crazy.
It sounds insane.
Yeah, and like the one I have, I told you has like the ribbon like arpeggiator, and then it has like a lever next to it that you can use. But the new one is just like a bigger square pad without the lever, so it's just all touch. So I think that'd be.
What's
even
the lever
better.
for?
The lever is for like the notes or like the scale, like the pitch basically.
Gotcha,
High
okay.
and low, and then you're just using the ribbon for like the attack or what you would call it, like, or whatever you would call it, but
like the modulation
yeah,
wheel or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Like smooth and then like hard kind of shit
cool.
like that. But I think the new one's just like, because that one you're up and down basically and using the lever. This one you're just probably up and down, side to side, kind of fuck around with
that's
the
cool,
little
yeah.
pad or something.
Get real groovy with it.
People are crazy with instruments. Have you ever heard of Muse?
Muse.
Yeah, band.
No.
They're like popular from Europe and shit.
Actually, wait, yes, I have. Are they from like early 2000s?
Yeah. Real popular around
definitely.
then and shit. The guitar player, he's a crazy fucking musician, Matt Bellamy, and he gets a lot of like custom made guitars. His guitars have like pads on them,
What the
so you can
fuck?
like fucking all crazy with the effects and
No
shit with
way.
his guitar.
Instead of like foot pads or like.
I mean, I'm sure he
guitar?
has some kind of pedal setup. But I don't know much about it, but I know that he uses a lot of custom guitars, and he just bought like the company that made his custom guitars. I think he like just bought the company.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's some pimp shit, man.
I think also they said that they might be coming out with like, because it's a fancy high-end guitar company, but I think they're coming out with like more affordable stuff too.
So lower end on the cost.
He should come out with like some affordable guitar with like a fucking
like a modulation wheel on it.
I have no idea what the starting price on that shit is. I don't know.
Whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of like his guitar. It's like blending software and like hardware, basically.
Sure.
Electronic hardware stuff. Like, it's weird.
And that's kind of the future, I think. Is live performance.
Yeah.
Music, but like with software built into it, perhaps.
Yeah. Man, I think like there's so many instruments out there, but I still think we could come up with like newer shit, like a new instrument.
There has to be some.
People are like reinventing instruments in certain ways. I saw there's like a new guitar coming out that's like, what would you call it? It's where you can like swap out parts and shit. Like, oh, I want these kind of pickups in the guitar or
no
whatever.
Shit.
Or this
by yourself, you're gonna swap it out.
Basically, yeah.
Whoa.
And it's made out of like, it's not just like a wood body guitar. It's like made out of like plastics and other like, fake materials, I guess.
Wow.
And I guess the one benefit to that would be like you don't have to worry about like the weather like warping your instrument, like a wood instrument or something like that.
Sure.
But shit like that is weird.
Yeah, that's really out of the box thinking.
Yeah.
Like, why would you need that? But then you need that. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So it's like kind of like those glasses that you can like change the lens out, but you change like the layout of the guitar.
Yeah.
That's really insane.
Yeah, so you can get different tones and different setups. I don't know. But it'd be interesting to fuck with.
Yeah.
But what instruments do you think they might come out with in the future? Like, what don't we have? That's the thing. It's like there's so much shit.
Yeah, I mean, they have like crossbreeds of a lot of different, like, I call them crossbreeds, I guess, of like different instruments and kind of stuff. I mean, you have like the harmonica, the lute. You have all these things that are like, already established through the course of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else they can do to make noise, that. I mean, it blows my mind what's already out there.
Yeah, you'll find like an instrument that like you would never even think of. Like, this is from 2,000 years ago, or like some like
what the hell,
foreign instrument or something.
Yeah,
but, man, that's
like a bone flute or something like that. I don't know.
Dude, the other thing, I need to just get like a bigger studio space so I can just start adding to my collection again. I think I just need like a lot of worldly instruments, like old timey, like Japanese instruments.
There's
like
some
that
cool
kind of
shit to sample and all that.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
yeah. Because that's, I mean, as far as instruments themselves, the next thing you can do as far as innovation is, blending styles of music, obviously. So.
Sure, and that happens across the board. You know, I mean, especially in rap music right now, it's getting very heavily crossbreeded with different genres.
Yeah, and it seems like people have done a lot with music. It's like, what more can you do? Music just keeps evolving into like, I don't know what. Because like if you showed people like from 1900 like music from today, they'd be like I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Like, but
yeah, that'd be a tough time travel right there. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and people say music's come pretty far already. Like, like some people act like, oh, what more could you do? It's like, well, I think there's room for innovation always.
Sure.
Basically, but like it's crazy. You've gone all the way from like classical music and insane shit all the way down to like noise bands or something, like just weird audio experimentation, like shit like that. And it's like, well, what more could you do? But yeah, I think there's some wiggle room.
Yeah, there's some crazy acts out there. And I mean, to go on to your point, like there's always new artists that are being birthed, every day. New artists that are growing that I can't keep up with it, and how many people are popping and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I think what you said is very true as far as the innovation of music. It's going to be just recreating the sound that's already there and adding on to it, like copying the people before you to make a new sound after them with their sound in mind already. Yeah, I think like people like Gunna and like Young Thug, Future, and how they're using like guitar and their beats now and that kind of stuff and making it more musical. I think that's really cool. That integration of music right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's like I love the sound of a melodic guitar with an 808 behind it and like a kick and snares and all that kind of stuff. It's hot, man.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. And then it kind of speaks like to the old school too, in a sense. Like,
sure.
Because the old school is just like sampling records,
all the time.
So that's all it was, really.
Like Dre and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like sampling shit like crazy.
And then at one point, just more companies were coming out with like these drum machines and things along those lines. And, we had synthesizers for a while, and just, and of course people have always sampled, but there came a point where it just became like all digital basically. And then, it's like now we're trying to get back to like acoustic instruments and things like that.
I'm thinking around like 808 and Heartbreaks time, or when T-Pain was really popping. Yeah. That's when that like digital sound was so popular. And the auto-tune was coming in just now.
People get obsessed with like shit like that comes out. So, yeah.
I love auto-tune on artists that I work with's voice, it can just add the slightest amount of sauce that is needed to be there.
Yeah. I think it helps. It can be great used in like certain ways, but I think it can be easily overdone.
Exactly. And that's
you got to be careful out there.
There's a fine line out there with auto-tune, man, for real. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I think like if you think about like music from the 80s, we don't know much because we weren't alive back then, but
sure,
that seems like a blend of like older acoustic instruments and like electronic shit, because with the rise of like pop music, what we now think of as like pop music, like all digital type stuff and very synthy and stuff back in the 80s.
And that was huge back then. I fucking love the 80s music.
Yeah, and then even like regular bands, like there was something about the 80s that was like weird sounding. They always got that like snare.
Yep.
And like
heavy snares, dramatic drums,
reverb on that snare and shit.
Yeah.
And like all that.
Their videos are fucking awesome too back then.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
And music is weird as fuck.
Yeah. It's a strange thing, and it's fucking awesome to like, be creative in the music lane, in the music industry.
Yeah.
It's cool to see how all this is coming along, and I don't know, man. It's truly inspirational. Every single day I wake up that I can go to the studio and make something that's tangible that people can really enjoy. That could be, I think that's weird as fuck, but people really like it a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. You're just making music and you're just like getting a rush just because people said, "Oh, that's cool, man." Like,
shit. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the praise,
Yeah.
I love praise.
Yeah. Keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it coming, man. Yeah.
But yeah, shit. Man, so it's been 3 years, basically?
Yeah, 3 years. It's been a nice 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. I've always had support, and even when I didn't, I supported myself, that kind of stuff. And
yeah, you got to.
Exactly. As a creative, you have to trust your own intuition, your own voice, and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like I've had a lot of hardships over the 3 years, and it's cool to have music to fall back on to push forward. Yeah. Essentially.
And then those hardships are gonna like shape your music too.
It already has. Yeah, and that's what I'm very proud of. The culmination of my music now is through my years of whatever I had inside of me.
Right, yeah.
Coming out, and I don't know, man. I thank music for everything in my life right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Man, I think humans need to be more creative.
I fucking agree with you on that.
Like, obviously there's a bunch of musicians, artists, creatives of all types, but then, you run into like some people that like
just don't create.
They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm just like mind blown the whole time. Like, wow.
They work the fucking 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
And they think that like that's what you do. You just go home and then you suffer from not having anything to do, no passion, no side job, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. I hope those people have a very, very fruitful life after that, after the fact, when they retire perhaps, and that kind of stuff. But,
right.
But some people love just staying in their house all day and not doing shit, and that kind of sucks, man.
Yeah. And you can have hobbies too. Like you can have hobbies that, alleviate depression and shit. Like if you're yeah, and they don't have to necessarily be creative things. You can play video games or whatever, fucking collect stamps or some kind of whatever.
Shit,
some shit like go bird watching or whatever other non-creative hobbies there are, I guess.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool ones that people can jump into, and I wish that the world was more creative.
Yeah.
I think that's what would save a lot of people from their pain and their suffering and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I just can't help but think, like, when I talk to someone that like doesn't do anything, I'm just like, so you're like severely depressed?
Yeah,
because I would be.
Yeah.
Cause
I mean, we all know that guy, or girl, whatever, who doesn't do anything, and they do seem kind of depressed, don't they? They don't have anything to look forward to, and it's very unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah,
because people that don't necessarily create, they look up to creatives, like, you know, their favorite musicians or favorite artists. Oh, I wish I was as good as whoever. And
if they just fucking did it,
if they just did it, you know, you ain't even got to be good at it.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to be good at it at all.
And that was my perspective. I mean, I looked up to Metro Boomin and like all these guys, especially like 3 years ago when they were really at the top of their game, like Southside, fucking TM88, you know, all these guys. And I never really thought that I could do that until I downloaded FL Studio one day and just fucking started doing it.
Yeah.
And now I have the potential to follow their footsteps and become, if not as greater than them, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the cool thing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it was taking a shot, and that's what people need to do is take a fucking shot.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Now look at you. We got a video filming tomorrow.
That's right.
You know,
yeah,
like we're doing
fucking,
shit. Like,
Scrim Reaper, man. I'm so excited for that video shoot tomorrow too, man.
Is that have a planned release yet, or you don't know yet?
The video shoot, the video itself, I'm not too sure. Probably the next month or so, because we're also shooting at our concert as well on the 31st in Iowa City. It's called Snow Days Cozy Nights. Is the concert. It's at Gabe's, Iowa City.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so $5 online for the ticket sales, $7 for pre-sale.
Not bad.
At the house. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be doing we'll be doing like an actual separate shot there because we don't have everyone coming to the actual video shoot. So we'll be doing the first primary shot at the party scene, second shot at the concert. Kind of going crazy to the shit.
Ooh.
A live action
I
shot.
can see it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, what was your project that you just had out recently?
Yeah, it's called Blacklight Love.
Blacklight Love.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's definitely my biggest accomplishment so far as an artist. I remember like jumping into that particular project and thinking about like what I could do creatively, and I wanted to I had this fucking burning desire to make an R&B, you know, type tape or whatever, and have my own twist onto it.
Because you've never done that before?
Never. I never really done it, but I've loved R&B for the past like year probably, as I've been more exposed to it and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And what I've done with that is I made like an R&B alternative rap, you know, project EP. It's a 4-track EP, and from top to bottom, it's fucking amazing in my opinion. I recommend everyone to listen to it. And if you don't, you know, whatever, I don't mind. But yeah, it features like K-Swank, Sons of Mars,
Nice.
Eastside Ave, Taj, Fantana, and I'm also on Tiffany, and we both sing on that kind of stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
And yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. Really, it's great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How many other releases have you had before?
I have I fully produced SS1 with K-Swank, so I consider that my product as well, because we both did the marketing and the promo pushes for that, and then I also, you know, self-produced the entire album. And then I also dropped No Game, so I have 3 under my belt, fully produced. But I've worked with so many artists, and if you go to Eastside Sounds, all the plaques, I'm on probably 90% of the plaques that are on the wall, all the different you know, album covers, that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, it's been a fucking blessing, man.
Yeah.
I think on my Spotify I have like 42 songs that I produced. I have a playlist called Scrim Essentials, and it's like I think I have like 42 on there, and then I know I have more across the board on SoundCloud and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty deep, you know.
Hell yeah. Yep. Just gonna keep building.
Yeah, exactly. This
Go
year,
along.
I already have a lot of placements on projects this year. I'm really excited for. One being like Fantana's work that he's doing right now. I have one on GL's new project he's putting out here pretty soon, and one on Too Chilly. It's Spurg's, Aves, and Lijo's project. So I'm pretty stoked, man. Just keep piling it on over time. That's all it is.
Yeah, man.
Keep working, keep grinding.
Yeah. Exactly. And think, if you just didn't do shit 3 years ago.
Right,
You know?
yeah. I don't know where my life would be if I didn't, like, you know, pick up on music, because that's been my passion and purpose ever since then, you know?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could have been the person who didn't have a creative passion and live life aimlessly, I guess, you know, that kind of stuff. So fucking grateful, man.
And you said it was just like being inspired by the people you like listening to.
Yeah, well, I had a hardship that just happened, and I had to find a hobby that, like, you know, I wanted to pick up for the time, pretty much, that I'd be spending at home, that kind of stuff, and not doing the things I was doing. And I figured I might as well download FL Studios, and that's how it just kind of started, you know, just curiosity killed the cat, and I'm happy to be the dead cat, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dead Cat. I wonder if that's like an artist name.
This should be. Yeah. Dead Garfield, I don't know.
I'm sure 9 Lives is taken.
9 Lives. Wow, that'd be nice. Yeah, Dead Cat 9 Lives for the album name.
Dude, nowadays, if you want to think of an artist name for yourself, you just got to start testing out the social media handles.
Yeah.
Is it taken yet?
Yep. Or like do a Dead Cat 01 maybe.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know.
And that gets slippery, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it could be the fake name, that kind of stuff.
Is your do you have like your social media handle? Is it like different?
All straight. Nope, it's Young Scrimmage all the way through.
You see, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, that's good.
I got very fortunate. A guy tried stealing my fucking name like 2 years ago, and I kind of fought him on SoundCloud about it and that kind of stuff, and he changed his name, but I had it already established and, like, you know, trademarked and that kind of stuff, so it was kind of nice. I have it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all Young Scrimmage, and no one else has claimed it yet, so got very lucky.
Yeah. Someone else was saying it's like, you know, you gotta have like Google ability.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. And I'm actually on Google too. If you search Young Scrimmage, I'm an artist on there. I have a knowledge panel and that kind of stuff too. So,
cool. Yeah.
It's nice. I've done all that. I did all that shit, you know, that I had to do for it. So it's a really great fucking tool.
And it's crazy like how hands-on everything is nowadays. Like being a creative, you know, like, I mean, it's just it's no, you know, no one's, I mean, people are still, you know, bands are trying to, you know, get signed or whatever, get labels and shit, but that's really not the main path anymore, you know.
No, independence way to go.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Really, my recommendation for someone who wants to get on a label, it's like, if you really want that money, like, right up front, you're more than welcome to do that and suffer the percentages lost by signing to a label and that kind of stuff. But if you go independent and make 100% of your profits, I mean, like, holy shit, dude, like, you're making way much more at the top, because if there are a record label, they need an incentive, obviously, to sign you on. So they're going to take either your merch, you know.
Dude, nowadays they take like a cut of everything.
Yeah, a 360 deal is what it's called.
Yeah, because like it used to be, they get like all the album sales, and you go on tour and everything else. It's all you. But now it's like they want a cut of everything because they don't have that much pull anymore.
That's what it is. I think that if I'm thinking correctly here, I think that Spotify and Apple Music are going to become their own labels in the future, is what I predict. I think that Spotify will have their own record label because they have the playlist opportunities to put anybody on, you know.
Yeah.
Let's say they signed me on board and they put me on those top playlists. That's like creating artists have nothing really, you know what I mean? And they could have easy pull with that.
Right. Man. Yeah, so now you, as being an artist, you gotta like, to be a good, successful artist, especially on your own, you gotta know a lot of different stuff.
You have to know a lot of shit.
You gotta perfect your craft. You know, that's the main thing of being an artist, is being a good artist, you know, perfecting your craft. But that's just like a piece of it now.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be a little business savvy. You know, you have to
know some tricks, and like you have to know, because if you don't know shit, you'll get fucked over by somebody and that knows their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
you sign on to a deal and they take half your profits, you might be missing out like $1 million someday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to do that if you can learn the business side of it yourself and go that route. There's a lot of people on YouTube who will teach you how to do the business stuff and do your licensing and all that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Find the right websites to put your shit on and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and then, you know, like you were saying, setting up the Google stuff, you know, just getting all that dialed in, and like trademarking, copywriting, and
it's a pain in the ass, but you have to do it, man.
But it makes you feel good.
Yeah,
like, I think so. You know, once you got getting your shit set up, it's like, all right, my shit's coming together now.
And you can tell someone, hey, like, just Google me and you'll find me. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you can like tell them, hey, you can search for my album and it'll pop up on Google in the top, results and that kind of stuff. Like that's fucking nice to have in your pocket,
Right. Yeah.
if you can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
It's been a
Because
blessing.
you're just like pulling a lot of the weight that like labels used to do. Like, you got to market yourself and all that.
Yeah, that was their job, was to market for you, and that's really what it's for. Is like you are giving them X amount of dollars for them to put you on, pretty much, and they'll feed you to all these top playlists and top providers, that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I don't know if you can find your way that yourself. I think like Russ is one of the guys who. I don't really know Russ too much, but he's one of the guys who did it himself all the way through, like beats, recording himself and that kind of stuff. And then the business side of it, just made a lot of money from being independent all the way.
Yeah.
It's possible nowadays, and people don't realize that too much, I think.
Right. And then it's just like an artist or like anybody who's just trying to make it, you just have to like diversify everything. You're not just an artist. Everyone's got a clothing line now. Everyone's got a podcast now.
Yeah,
kind of
it's,
shit,
and it's crazy, man. But I think that, with that being said, there's always the cream of the crop. There's going to be people who are at the top of any region, whether it's local, international, or national, or whatever. They're going to be the top of their line. And that's what I think is really very important to think about, because there's millions of producers, but there's only a few that get recognized and rise the ranks, obviously.
Right.
Much of podcasts or anything like that too. So
Right.
yeah, just refining your craft and becoming better and better.
Yeah. Yeah, and even like find a little niche or something. Whatever is your whatever can be your gateway.
I think like Joe Rogan's like fucking his conspiracy theories, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
That kind of stuff or whatever.
Have you? So you basically just been using Fruity Loops and the laptop, the software, and everything.
Yeah, that's about it. I unfortunately my my MIDI keyboard fucking broke a couple of days ago, or a couple weeks ago now, actually.
Bastard.
I know, yeah. I've used it for like since I actually started.
Oh Jesus!
And it's like been a staple, and we're gonna hang it up on the wall pretty soon, just like kind of commemorate all the songs I made.
Yeah, that's cool.
On the tracks that are in the studio, and that kind of stuff. But the middle key just came right off. I was just like, I was doing 808s with it, and what I do is I double tap it kind of like this to make it like a drum pad, but I use the keyboard for some reason. I don't know why I do it. It's a quirky thing, I guess, or whatever, as a producer. But I hit it way too hard and popped right off, and it snapped. I tried finding replacements and keys.
Yeah, you can't fix it or nothing. Yeah.
No. If I burnt the plastic and made a new hook onto it, I could do it. But
you gotta hit up someone with a 3D printer. Or
something like that. Yeah, and it's not worth the fucking hassle, man.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's that planned obsolescence. They plan for it to break down eventually.
See, they're smart, man.
For another one.
Just make a new key or whatever.
That sounds pretty good on you, though. Like, yeah, man, I'm fucking such a hardcore producer. I fucking broke the goddamn...
Right. And that's how I felt about it, too. I was like, I don't give a fuck, fucking... And we're going to hang
I
it
go
up.
hard, bro. I swear I go...
And it deserves to be on the wall now, I guess.
Yeah.
So damn hard.
That'd be a cool piece to have hung up, too.
Yeah. So now I just use the laptop for my majority of my production. I found that I've always wanted to do that, but I would just use the piano keys as like my escape from like going onto the laptop only. And now that I'm doing laptop only, I'm very fucking proud of myself, because now I can just take that anywhere and work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need to have the bulky ass little keyboard or whatever. I can do my own thing. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Helps you hone another side of your skills, basically.
Exactly, yeah. So there's always a silver lining in everything that happens, you know what I mean? And that's one of them, obviously.
Are you got anything in mind as far as getting a new controller or anything?
Right now, no. I kind of want to stick with the laptop.
Stay more portable and everything.
Yeah. It's a cool thing, man. I don't know, like I said, I can just go to I'm in my car and just plug in the laptop and trust my process on the laptop itself without having the keyboard anymore and that kind of stuff. So that's really nice.
Hell yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You think you ever get tired of it in the future? You want to spread out into something else?
What do you mean?
I mean, as far as equipment or even instruments yourself or whatever, or even different types of software.
Right, that's the crazy thing, man. I definitely I've dabbled in like being an artist as well. I think I want to travel down that lane too a little bit, and to see what I can do creatively myself, because I know how to make my own beats and that kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can make some really good music if I just applied my own artistic creativity to it. So with an instrument being my vocals, that'd be one thing I'd work on definitely. But I want to learn more about piano theory, music theory, that kind of stuff, and really dive into the roots of it so I can just hone my craft even better. You know, like learning chords that the right way. You know, like learning all the shit, because it can only refine you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna hurt me by any means. So.
Man, yeah. I feel like I've been doing music like my whole life, but I wish that I wish as a kid, I was forced into like piano lessons or something.
Right.
Dude, I'd be like fucking Mozart right now.
That'd be
like,
fucking nice,
it.
man.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Because that's like one of the best instruments that you could possibly ever know.
The piano?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So.
It's fucking universal, man.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a piano.
The range and what you can do with it. You can get laid super easy if you're really fucking good.
I have no problem with that, but yes, I understand.
Yeah, you got no problems here. But
yeah, I totally understand that, man. Yeah.
You just be that guy at the party. Just play the piano.
Or the piano man at the bar. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's something I definitely want to learn is how to just crack it out on a fucking piano.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
One guy that I'm very impressed by, I'm actually working with him too. I forgot to mention him. We're dropping an EP here pretty soon. It's called The South American Succubus.
Ooh.
And his name is Young Flay, aka Young Flavius, is what I call him as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Flavius. He's a very saucy man. He also goes by Jake Overstreet, and he is just such a beautiful musician on the piano. Like he knows how to just crank it out. He's very jazzy with it, and like I'm very proud to work with them. In fact, on Blacklight Love, I have a song called Tonight's Love Scrimmage, and it's called Scrimmage. It's a Scrimmage remix, and it's his song originally, and I just did a remix of it and put K-Swank on it. But he's on the keys and he did all that shit, and it's fucking really awesome, man, because we can be at the middle of a party or we can be at, you know, a venue. He'll crank out that melody.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that in live, and people love it, you know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah, he's a very talented musician. I'm very proud to work with him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I remember years ago, like I was working with I was in a band with this kid who was like just so good at fucking piano, like just like
Doesn't it blow your mind?
Beethoven shit, like
Yeah.
you know, I think he had been playing since he was like 7, and he was like at least 17 at the time, so he had like, you know, 10 plus years in at the time even, and just fucking, it's like, damn, I wish I would have learned piano like that.
Right.
I'm like, damn, man, because
I'll tell
so
you,
good. It's crazy.
I'll tell you a fucking really crazy story that I've never really told anyone, like on public before. But a couple years ago, 4th of July, we were tripping, you know what I mean? Yeah. And my buddy was like 4 tabs deep, right? So he was just out of his mind pretty much. And he grabbed his violin, because he just knows violin very well.
Yeah.
And he played like Mozart.
Oh my God.
On acid, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
That's
like, this
crazy.
guy was tripping balls,
especially if you're on acid too. It's like,
you have to be so focused, and like that one like bad stroke that you do on it would piss you off, I'm sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just played it perfectly, and it was like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. Truly was remarkable.
That's
and changed
crazy.
me. Yeah.
Have you ever played violin?
I've never played violin.
Dude, I like tried. Like I bought one at one time, like years ago. And, like tried to play, dude. It's so hard.
What was your experience like? So it was tough then?
Yeah, and I've heard that like you should take lessons so you learn proper technique and stuff, which, you know, I never did. But
so like positioning and that kind of stuff then and all that.
My problem was like, dude, like it's such a tiny little neck that like I'll put like one finger down like right next to it, and it's like I've changed like 4 notes. It's like super like small, like sensitive. I'm like, how am I supposed to even?
Yeah, and you use like the guitar where it's like a fatter neck, right?
Yeah,
It's easier to move your fingers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so precise.
Damn, dude, like, you know, maybe I'll do it one of these days. I'll try again, take some lessons when I have some spare money.
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, why not?
One thing I want to do for sure that I've always wanted to do this, but I never have tried yet. I do want to try to play cello.
The cello.
I really dig that.
That's that big ass thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a bigger bass, but you can have like a smaller cello too. But yeah,
got it.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm into bass myself, so it might be more my route. Also.
Right, more your lane.
Maybe I like the tonal sound also just the low shit. So.
Where it's like deeper because the construction of it, right?
Yeah, way bigger and deep. So, and I feel maybe even playing like this is easier than like this. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But,
it might be because it's more stationary instead of like, because I feel like you put it in your neck, it's so uncomfortable already. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
doing this stuff is.
and again, just so small. It's like this is bigger. I can maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
A little bit easier to use.
Maybe, but.
Have you taken classes before? Like
Not for any of that. I've never taken, never for string instruments. I wish I would have done that too. But I will. I'm gonna do cello someday.
Dude, fuck yeah, man. Do what you want, man.
But, I mean, I was raised with like doing. I remember when I was a little kid, I was putting like the boys' choir and stuff, like Moline boys' choir kind of shit. So doing that, and then I was in like band in school. I played trumpet, so I guess I can play that.
The trumpet man, I got you.
I can still play that because it's not that hard. I guess if you know how to play that. I guess it's kind of like riding a bike, maybe. It's been a while, but...
Do you have one, a trumpet?
I don't. I did buy one again at some point. Around the same time I bought that violin. I was like, I'm going to get trumpet again, too.
No shit.
But I ended up getting rid of both of them. But again, like I said, I'll get a bigger studio space again someday. We're kind of cramped in here right now. We're running out of room.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I need a whole room, a whole warehouse for like...
So what was your inspiration when you bought the violin?
Wanting to just incorporate different types of music into my music, which is just weird alternative stuff. And
right.
Yeah, just I love the idea of fucking with different types of instruments.
Just be a little bit abstract, you know? That's cool.
I need a giant studio, all kinds of equipment laid out.
And that's how like great innovations are made in music, you know, just trying some random shit and then it catches and you keep making the same shit. And then it's a genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
That's fucking cool, man. I definitely admire that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun as fuck, like music, God. I wonder who's like the most experienced musician, like if there's like a Guinness World Record for person who can play the most instruments, you know?
There's
like,
gotta be someone who's a fucking
pretty like
savant.
well, like...
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, because you could do a lot. You don't even have to be that good to do certain things.
And how they test that is have like a bunch of... Like, because, you know, the Guinness World Records people, they come out and they, like, you know, record and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They just have them, like, in a warehouse full of instruments. You just, like, lap around shit. And
they'd have to be, like, decent at each one. Not like, you know, like... You don't have to be, like, a virtuoso or something, but...
Yeah. No
pretty
savant.
Good. Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I wonder. Maybe. I wonder if that is a record or not.
There's got to be someone out there who just, like, picks up any instrument and can just, like, go insane with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just understand every single... way that it works and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Might be interesting to see.
I feel like if you're a musician, you need to like check your ego a lot, because
what do you mean?
When it comes to playing instruments, it's like if you want to, I don't think it's healthy to act like you're like, I mean, you should have confidence, of course, but it's annoying if someone's like, I'm the best motherfucker at this and that. It's like, no, you're not.
Absolutely.
You're not, though.
Dude, that's fucking so true. Like, being a musician in any realm, whether it's being a producer or like a live musician or someone who can just like pick up a guitar and play and that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, humbleness goes a long ways in our field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be humble, and like, if you think you're the shit, someone's going to surpass you.
Right.
You know, I think even the greatest musicians don't think they're the shit, really.
Right, yeah. And you can act like cocky in certain situations, or even like to be funny or something.
Yeah,
you know.
like a joke or something like that, sure.
But like, you know,
like I'm the best to ever do it, you know, the best in north, south, east, and west. You know, that's a great way to do it. But like saying that, you know, I'm better than you or something like that, or talking shit like that is not necessary. You know what I mean?
Or even like a mainstream like pop artist, it's like you might have a #1 hit, and you could brag all you want about that. Congratulations.
Sure.
That's a lot to say. But it's like, you got to know, it's like, you're never going to be like the best piano player in the world or something, you know?
Sure.
The best piano player in the world probably might not ever have a #1 single, because that's just not how the music charts are nowadays.
And a lot of times, what I've noticed of people who like are very talented, they don't really put out music. They just like perform music.
True.
You know, that kind of stuff. It's a big different lane.
Or people that are like session musicians, like background musicians, or in orchestras and shit, just like they get known in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's played on 20
this.
#1 albums or something, but you never heard of him in your life.
No shit.
They're just
exactly.
like a session musician for like some record company.
See, they're fucking low key. That's what I like about them a lot. Like, I've met a few artists who are just like that kind of, you know, that don't put out music, but they're just fucking really talented in their field. And it's like, okay, well, I respect your craft. You know what I mean? But some might look at their accolades and say, you know, they're not really doing shit 'cause they don't have any streaming on Spotify and that kind of stuff. Well,
yeah,
they can beat you in anything, you know,
right,
like musically.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then again with the ego, I think it's like, I mean, unless you want to be like just blinded by your ego, I wouldn't recommend that. Sounds ignorant, but
Sure.
but I mean, like, because I have to like know that it's like, okay, I'm never gonna be the best guitar player in the world. I have to be okay with that, you know, or else I'm just gonna be like depressed if you're like a psychopath.
Right.
Like, I gotta be the best, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
because you're setting yourself up for a standard that you're never gonna fucking reach.
yeah,
If you just say that I'm gonna go in and create something even if it fucking sucks, then
Yeah.
the humbleness is there.
and I'm gonna see how good I can get over the span of my lifetime. Great,
Right.
You know, but yeah,
Yeah, but to put yourself in a standard of I'm gonna be the fucking best in the world, that's great to like set that as a goal.
I think you should have that goal, but don't like kill yourself over it. Kind
Exactly.
of mentality, you know. Like,
Yeah.
You should, I think I've always thought that myself. You should always strive for perfection, but know that perfection doesn't exist.
Mhm.
That's what I feel. But
I like that. That's
maybe.
very nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Because especially as a musician, it's like, what is perfect? You know, it's
yeah,
it's subject for
especially anything creative. It's all subjective.
exactly. It's
So-
subjective. It's subject for approval by others, by the masses. You know.
Even if you're talking about like artwork, like, you know, I love great paintings and sculptures, whatever. And I see some modern artwork and I'm like, that is dog shit. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
but
like,
that's some bullcrap.
some things
right
I'm just
there.
not into. Sorry. Like,
Yeah,
so
like
much.
that's shitty. But like, you know, some might see that same exact picture and say, "Wow, I'll pay $1 million for that fucking picture," and you have no idea why, but they feel compelled to pay that much money for
Yeah.
that service. And I think that's a perspective that like every artist should, no matter what field you're in music especially, is cater to those people who view your art as a $1 million art.
Yeah,
They'd pay
yeah,
anything
yeah.
They want to see your art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. You're gonna find some people that don't give a fuck, but then someone else is gonna be crazy over your shit. so-
Yeah, like
Cool.
wow, that's fucking insane. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm
You
just
know?
not into like modern art in the sense like I go into a gallery and it's like a black canvas, like $5,000.
Right,
Something like that.
yeah.
It's like that.
Like wow, that is.
Sorry, it's
fucking
not
something
my
else.
style, but I want to go look at the fucking crazy like huge painting that's like detailed as shit, or like that like hyper realism, or what's the actual term, like I don't know, hyper realism or something like that, where it's like those
Hyperrealism.
that shit that's like it looks better than a photograph, you know, but it's
Yeah.
like fucking paintings. Like how? Like I'll never
Yeah,
be
they're so precise and like they're so perfect with it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like-
it's crazy.
like you'll never be that good. But
Absolutely, and I think that like when I think of art and that kind of stuff, like I love like random like strokes, like kind of like Van Gogh's kind of like
Yeah,
art style,
yeah.
you know, and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But as far as like, you know, that kind of stuff, like the stuff you're talking about, I admire it, but I don't find that to be compellingly like attractive to me as far as art goes. But weird shit like that, I like looking at something that's fucking just completely random, that someone just fucking splatted paint on. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
being fucking like artistic,
like
and that kind of
complete
stuff.
abstract.
Yeah, complete
Yeah, yeah,
abstract. I
yeah.
like that a lot because like that's truly where you look at it and you're like, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Or I fucking hate that.
Right.
You know, you have that real definitive separation of what's good and bad in your mind
Mm-hmm.
as art goes.
Right. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love that shit too.
Yeah,
That
it's
crazy
cool.
abstract shit. I just like I wouldn't pay for it.
Right.
Unless
right.
I really liked it, like, oh, that's sick. But
And I find that
because
with-
I do art myself, so I'll just be like, I'll just make it. I'll just make something I like.
Yeah,
I'll just
exactly.
do my own
And I'll be
abstraction. So
satisfied,
like,
you know?
I'm cool with that.
like,
but-
did you make that the tie dye stuff there?
This was just some random shit, but I have
That's
some
cool.
things somewhere. A lot of this shit in here is randomized. One
It's,
of my
it's cool to fucking just like look around this room and like capture what's going on here. You know.
yeah, one of my partners that I do art with, he's like real fucking. He's like a fine artist, like talented, could do any kind of medium really good. He did like that back there, unfinished piece.
This here?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's just nothing. That's just like barely even started.
That's fucking abstract.
But I'm nowhere near that good. You know.
that's a unicorn, or what?
I think it's just a horse with the. I think they just have armor on, or something.
spear on the head then too.
Something. Yeah.
I hope they can
guess.
see this. Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. They can see the pictures.
They can't see it.
They can't. Okay.
They got to come here.
Yeah.
Come here in person and find.
Fucking experiences, man. This is the Mob Podcast. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. You got to come here to really take it all in. It's a lot to take in.
It is breathtaking.
It's breathtaking. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's very stimulating.
Yeah. All this shit just, I've been telling all the guests I've had on, yeah, we've just been collecting this shit over the years. Just, eventually you won't be able to see any of the wall space at all.
Right. How long is
he did that piece right there?
That one there?
Yeah, in the corner with
That's
the
cool
bird wings and shit. I don't know if people might know what we're talking about. I'm looking at the Condor and Jaybird album cover.
That's Condor and Jaybird.
Condor and Jaybird, yeah.
Gotcha,
so he does their artwork. They're good friends of ours. So.
Wow, very cool.
It's like a bird famet. I think that's what they call it. Like Baphomet is like the goat head creature, but that's like a bird head creature. And
that's mixed with that then. That's pretty fucking cool. I like that. Wow.
He's a real talent. Bless him. Bless his heart.
Yeah, that's if he's listening, that's very detailed. I appreciate that art. I don't know what it is about it that compels me to like keep looking at it, but
oh man,
it's like every like stroke is
even
so,
you gotta look at his shit like close up too. It's like a lot of hidden details.
Yeah, but you can tell it's like tattoo shading. You know,
Yeah,
it's very
a lot of line
detailed.
work in there.
Yeah,
but yeah,
very impressive. Who is he? Shout him out.
Tyler White.
Tyler White.
Motherfuckers, if you know, you know. If you don't, you should.
Tyler, you're killing shit, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, he does not all, but most of the artwork for Condor and Jaybird and some other bands here and there, things like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's going on to that topic of abstract art and that kind of stuff. That's what I find like I love about Young Thug. You know, I at the studio, they all know I am a fucking huge proponent for Young Thug. And he is so abstract with the way that he comes with every single song. Like, his newest album is so much fun, and the deluxe version, too. Like, you don't know how he's going to come on in every single song when you do your first listen through. Like, Young Thug is so fucking crazily talented, in my opinion, with the way he moves his vocals and the way that he wants to create. He's never put into a box. And that's what I think every great artist, like, in my opinion, Future is a great artist, too. Gunna is also one of those people as well who don't put themselves in a creative box. They are always breaking the lane, their own lane, and they're still getting in the same lane too. It's insane to see how they just kind of like transform, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With each project or each song they put out.
Yeah. That's a cool thing, watching the growth of an artist. And
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening in the East Side right now too. The East Siders and everyone who's involved, you know, in the Quad Cities music scene is evolving like crazy. I mean, how do you feel like the past 3 years of music has been?
I was just going to ask you that, yeah. I've been telling everyone, I feel like it's growing really well.
Yeah, like, it's in a good direction, man.
Really
I'll tell
good.
you what, healthy, I think competitive, non-competitive direction.
The biggest it's ever been as far as members involved, you know, just people in the community doing creative stuff. Like,
yeah.
You know, this podcast is just one of my outlets, and I could do this forever. Because I'll never run out of guests.
Right, especially in this area, man.
Yeah.
There's people
I could pick so many people. And I like, with this platform, I like to have all different kinds of artists or whatever, even business owners. I don't give a fuck. Like, whoever I think is cool to talk to, they're in here.
It's a fucking genius medium to be a part of. Like,
podcasting is crazy because of how huge it's gotten. And no one really would have predicted it. Because it's like, we killed radio a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But there's still a real huge desire for it, which is crazy. I think it's like radio without a network, because it's like free, unfiltered, very long. You can have really good short interviews, which is great, you know, to give people a good, you know, short scoop or something. But I think a lot of people are drawn to the long form format.
Just conversation-based stuff.
You really get to know someone a lot better.
Right. I was gonna say that. I think it's a podcast is more personable. You know, it's like you can find someone you really fuck with, and like, okay, I like the way that he thinks. Oh, we're on the same page in a lot of things. I'm gonna keep watching his shit, and then stop listening to everyone else. And they consume all your content in a day or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy.
Man, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing to be part of, man. Like,
yeah, and I just started doing it just because, you know, I listened to some podcasts and I'm like, yeah, that'd be really fun. So
like, why not try it?
Do it. And, you know, obviously, just people in the QC, there's a lot of cool people I could have on and talk to. And just outside of that, I realized a long time ago, that like with like my close group of best friends, like I've had like, you know, hours long conversations with each of them, you know how it must be like with your friends, you know,
Absolutely, yeah.
having those really in-depth like hours long conversations with your buddies that like really gets you going creatively and shit,
And it
and all
keeps
that.
like turning to different conversations of topic, that kind of stuff, you know, which is great for a fucking podcast.
Yeah, and I always thought, I was like, you know, I feel so blessed that I get to have these great experiences with my friends, and you know, feels like it brings us closer, you know, this and that, whatever. And then when you think about podcasting, I was like, well, now I can do that with like complete strangers.
Right.
Just have like long ass conversations. We're talking about dope shit, crazy stuff. Get to know about them. Like, oh, what the fuck do you do? Wow, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
keep diving into that. Yeah, tell me more about it.
Yeah, like meet so many more cool people in the scene that I never would have found out about otherwise, you know? So
Sure, and it's cool when you have a relatable subject like music and that kind of stuff, because then you could add more content to that too, and a listener who's getting, you know, introductions to music, like they have good information just from this conversation,
right,
you know, about drum pads and that kind of stuff, or different, you know, softwares to use or hardwares to use.
Yeah,
you know,
so
no paid endorsements though, obviously, but you know,
right. Unless they want to pay me.
Exactly, they need to pay you.
Brought to you by Korg.
By a Kai.
Yeah, Kai, Korg, and
That'd be nice.
Mine's Obliterating Boundaries, of course, brought to you by
MOB. You know this.
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I definitely appreciate this medium because it gives the Quad Cities artist a way to express themselves and talk about what they do more in depth, you know, because I think people look at the bigger picture of just you putting out a project or a song or whatever, when there's so much work behind it, there's so much community behind it. And, you know, when I put out a song, there's like hours of work behind it. There's a lot of cool things to talk about in that process. The behind the scenes are fucking awesome to talk about and share. And I think that's one thing that you can really provide. And that's what you do here. You know, it's cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I enjoy it. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll keep doing this for forever.
Dude, yeah, I definitely hope so. It's fucking awesome.
I'll be 80 years old. Same house. We just never leave. Yeah.
Same room.
Yeah. We're going to have to upgrade one of these days.
Yeah. Probably like an oxygen tank. That's about it, though, you know?
Huh?
Add like an oxygen tank. You know?
Yeah. True. And like, I don't even have the couch. I'm just in my wheelchair. Automated wheelchair. I don't even have to walk anymore.
Yeah.
But in the future, I probably won't even have legs. I'll just have robot legs.
Yeah, we'll have chips in us too and that kind of stuff.
I was talking about that on one episode with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
About like, yeah, maybe we'll just turn into a cyborg.
What do you think about chips?
Yeah, it's probably inevitable.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think?
I think it is inevitable.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm so down for like so much like future stuff. I'm down to like become a robot, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna put a chip in my arm.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the catch-22, right? It's like it'd be cool to be a part of that technology, but it's dangerous to let, you know, there'd be like GPS location activity on you at all times.
Yeah, at all times.
You know.
Yeah.
What if you don't want to be found?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit I'd be totally down for, but then certain things, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Because if I could, like, I would become a cyborg. Like some crazy shit. If my body's, like, falling apart, hell yeah, give me all the robot extensions and shit. That'd be great. But
right.
There better not be any GPS trackers in those.
And I guarantee there will be.
They secretly put them in?
Yeah, of course. Like, they have to.
I know. Fuck. Well, I could find a really smart robotics engineer and we could just make our own.
Right.
You know, that's the other thing with 3D printing. Now people can just make their own like prosthetics and shit.
Whoa, that's pretty smart. Wow.
Yeah. And that's like helping a lot of people's lives because, you know, prosthetics used to cost like thousands of dollars.
They can just print one out.
Yeah, for like $20.
Fucking insane.
So that's really great.
Yeah, it's a cool advance in technology in my opinion.
So maybe you could just make your own, build your own fucking robot body.
Right. Yeah.
Probably not recommended. It might
probably
go
not
off
really
the rails.
functional either, you know. But
you got to get a really smart person to help design it, and then
maybe a team. Maybe a team is.
I would pay for it. I'll do it because it's like, do I trust the government, like the government robot arms that are filled with the GPS trackers?
I would not personally.
Yeah,
no.
I know. I don't know.
You know, I think that AI is very dangerous too, in my opinion. AI is a
yeah. Oh
tough
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. A lot of people are very worried about it, and then other people aren't really worried about it.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on
I
it?
don't know. I'm kind of optimistic a lot of ways. You know, things could go down a dark road maybe, but I mean, are you worried that like what people say that artificial intelligence is going to rise up and then take out humans?
I think it's possible, you know, because its main function is to like do the most efficient thing possible. Like it's, you know, when you look at what it does with games, that kind of stuff, it just uses everything in its power to make the most efficient power move. Like they have this one game, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically the sharpest game for a human brain, and like AI was matched with it, and like AI just found like 120 ways to like attack this move and that kind of stuff, and it beat the player after like the fourth game, and he's like the world known player of like the top of the line type of guy, obviously, right? It beat his ass. And I think that's like, you know, it'll if given the power, it can find us to be very obsolete. You know, we could be a roadblock in its way essentially.
And then wouldn't that be our fault because we designed them?
Yeah, it's like the Terminator situation.
Yeah.
You know,
From what I've heard is they've been designing robots to have like emotions or be able to feel or mimic or understand certain emotions.
and that's dangerous in my opinion.
It's dangerous, yeah. But like if a robot or artificial intelligent race or something wanted to take over, that would mean that they have no compassion for
Human life.
no understanding for that, and they might not have a reason to, because they could, maybe some people say they'll look at us like we're a virus, you know, on this planet and
Right.
killing everything, and
I mean,
it's not worth it. And it's like, really? Or are they going to realize it's a lot more complex than that? Maybe, because that's how it looks on paper. Like,
see,
we're fucking up this planet and shit.
right?
But
we
then when
are
it
fucking shit up all the time. You know what I
when
mean?
it comes
Like,
down to it, it's like most people are like good people that aren't like evil themselves or whatever. So it's like, are the robot people gonna be like, that will just kill this innocent mother and child? We don't care.
yeah,
Like, is
wipe
that
them out,
that's
and
our
we'll be-
fault then, because we didn't program compassion into them, right? Is
Right,
that,
and
am I wrong to
and
think that?
that's a fucking very good point. Like compassion should be built into every robot if that's the case, or every AI. That'd be the way to save humanity. in
And
my
I feel like
opinion.
robots or artificial intelligence, I think they would just optimize humanity.
Sure,
I mean,
they'd want to help it then rather than destroy it. Obviously,
yeah. I mean, and if it was the other road where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of humans and whatever. I mean, okay, I guess that's on us, because
well, if you look at it, like, you know, a lot of jobs are being destroyed because of artificial intelligence and advanced technology. I mean, it's happened for the past 100 years, really, when it comes down to machinery and that kind of stuff. I think that, you know, like Tesla and what Elon Musk is doing, I imagine there'll be semi-trucks that'll drive themselves, so that driving force will be obsolete of human drivers and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
These things are what determines what a human is like very powerful in, and if technology can do it, then why would it not try to kill us and like get rid of us? You know what I mean? I find this like, it's like the superior race kind of like like module of the world, you know?
yeah.
So look at like, you know, what Hitler did and that kind of stuff. That could definitely be the AI's thought process,
It could,
you know?
yeah, it could.
Yeah. And it's fucked up.
Or are we gonna like program them to think like they have to view us as gods? Like, oh, they created us. Like,
Right.
the creators, don't harm the creators.
That'd be a smart fucking idea, but then what happens to that one AI that's like, fuck that,
yeah,
you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to that shit.
yeah. I don't know. It
It's
could
tough.
go either way, and the only reason we perceive the elimination of humans as bad is because we're human. Like, oh, I don't want that. I'm a human.
Exactly.
If we weren't human, we wouldn't give a fuck. You know.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's hard to determine because I'm coming from like a self-centered viewpoint, I guess. Oh, don't kill the humans. We're nice. I swear. Like,
Well, if you look at what the human race has done, like, our species is responsible for a lot of extinction of animals.
Yeah.
You know, like what the black rhino was extinct as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because we just killed them for their horns, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and all these things. You know, it's we as a species deem ourselves as superior. So why can't the one thing that could really beat us is ourselves with technology? Why can't that think that they're more superior than us? You know, that's my thought process.
They easily might.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're coming from a viewpoint of like we're here to optimize, because humans have taken far too many missteps in our history. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, things could be done correctly. Humans could live without, putting everything else on this planet in jeopardy.
Sure.
It's not like that's impossible.
Yeah. We fuck up a lot of things in this world.
A lot of things. Too many things.
Too many things.
Do you think would the artificial intelligence, like robots or whatever, see that, all right, we're fucking up this planet? They could eliminate us or they could just as easily make it to where we're not fucking up the planet.
Sure, they can optimize us to be more efficient.
Yeah.
They could tell us, hey, this would be a better option, maybe like a plan A, plan B type of thing.
We just had to kill a few CEOs. That's it.
That's it. We'll take them out, and then we'll take over from here.
A few dictators or something,
and then our bitch.
Other than that, it's like just normal people or something. I mean, yeah.
What do you think about the coronavirus?
I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah. I haven't been keeping up on it at all.
So
fill me in.
So I work at the Handicap Development Center, and we do this thing called CNN 10. It's like Carl Zeus, and he's fucking awesome actually. But he like gives you a rap report of what's happening in the world in 10 minutes essentially, right? Mm-hmm. And we watch them every single day, so I get a pretty good like consumption of news, more than the average person would, I'd say, every day. The coronavirus started off in China, and it was due to the wild markets that are still around. So basically people were like, it's like a food market, and people can sell and trade foods and other animals, but then they have like like black market animals, so like deer that aren't allowed there and that kind of stuff. They'll sell shit like that.
Yeah.
Supposedly what happened is some bats were affected by this virus, and it's spread to humans now. And because of the markets, it's spreading into the communities of, I forgot what city it's even called in China, but I think it's like Wuhan or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we have our first confirmed case in America a couple of days ago. But how the total was, 500 people were like infected by it, and 17 already died from it. That's huge in ratio if you think about it. That's pretty dramatic in my opinion of like what it could be if it's not treated fast enough.
True.
And it's had already the attention of the World Health Organization, the WHO, and the CDC and that kind of stuff. So it's very serious.
Yeah.
And some theorists believe, or skeptical people, whatever, think that it's a biochemical warfare, possibly
on purpose.
Which could be the case.
Yeah, it could be. It's very possible that we could be done in by a virus of some sort, or it could
the Black Plague.
It could wipe out a good percentage of motherfuckers. Right, and it could have. It has happened before, and it could happen again. We have a lot better medicine now, but that's not always a good thing either. Right. There's other things like, I know that like scientists and shit, they're worried about eventually we're gonna create a virus that is antibiotic like resistant, and that could easily happen too. And then what? And that's happening now with everybody, right? You're taking this medicine, that kind of stuff, and the cold virus is actually surpassing what's happening now with their medicine. It's mutating to a version that's resisting that. Yeah. Much like rats who resist the rat poison. You have to develop a new rat poison to kill rats. It's these fucking idiot humans that are just taking antibiotics for a cold. It's like,
And
what are you doing?
It's making it stronger, you know what I mean?
God.
See, when I get sick, I don't take antibiotics. I don't take any of that kind of stuff. I call it a body learning experience, what I call it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I put myself through rigorous fucking pain when I have a cold because I know that it's going to be better for me probably to not take the medicine, and my immune system will probably get better.
Yeah.
It's my thought process.
Yeah, because people are taking too many antibiotics just for when you shouldn't be taking them.
Yeah, it's making it weak.
To where at this point, if you ask me, I think you should only take antibiotics if it's like life and death kind of shit.
Right.
You
if I
don't
have
need it
or something like that. Like, yeah, I'll take
like,
some shit. That's fine.
Unless you're going to die, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Because that's just gonna fuck your whole gut biome up, and then your inside is gonna be fucked up for a while too.
Yeah, and I have a very minuscule knowledge of that, but I just think that in my head, like, that would make my system weaker and more dependent on that, and what happens when that doesn't work anymore for my body. I need something else that's stronger, obviously, and I'll keep being dependent on medicine and that kind of shit. Fuck that. I'm not a slave to medicine, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Never. So that's my perspective on that, I guess.
And we've got lucky in the past with, like, you know, bird flu and all those other pandemics.
Yeah, H1N1 and Ebola.
You know, we've been okay so far. But it's like, are we on borrowed time or not? Like,
right.
Are we gonna be done in soon? But
I have a very fucking crazy view on that. Like, I think that, like, it's natural population control that's happening, or trying to happen.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
And it's not working because we're using all these, you know, antibiotics and that kind of stuff. I think that the scientists are fucking right. Like, we're gonna fuck ourselves and, like, you know, definitely shoot ourselves in the foot because it's gonna surpass the power of these antibiotics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna fucking, like, wipe us all out. You know?
Right.
I was reading on Nat Geo, and they had this cool fucking article about, like, zombies, right? Could zombies be a real thing? I read into it, and they said, like, the closest thing to a zombie would be, like, a combination of rabies and the flu virus. Like, a mutation of both of those together, where it's like an airborne illness, and it makes you bite people and shit. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, it'd be fucking
There's
insane.
no chance then.
Yeah, like, you're fucked, obviously, and it's not like you would reanimate the dead, but, like, you would just, like, become rabies infected and bite people and make them infected, and that's how it would work.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like that could be contained. Because, like, I don't know. It depends how that virus would react with the human body, but it's like when you watch the zombie movies, usually they're like superhuman zombies almost. A lot of the time they're fucking sprinting like full speed and shit. Yeah, they might just be like, you know, like on drugs, kind of looking.
Yeah,
like,
super loopy and shit.
Yeah, like out of it, you know, maybe rabid a little bit, but are they really going to be like superhuman, just sprinting after cars and like in the movies, breaking windows, like. Some zombie, I've seen different types of zombie movies too, where the zombies can't really do much. Like, they don't even react unless they see you or something. And, like, they don't even know how to use doors unless it just happens to be.
Or they hear you moving, that kind of stuff, and they'll turn towards you.
So, if it depends. If the virus really could make them like superhuman or crazy, it might be a little hard. But I feel like if they're a little slow, we might be able to get that under control. We're gonna lose some lives, but
right. And I think that's the cool thing about the rabies perspective. Like, if that happened, I think it'd be like your normal capabilities of speed. But if you have like Usain Bolt who gets affected by it, you know what I mean, then you're kind of fucked, obviously, because he's a world-class sprinter and can move faster.
Oh man. Yeah.
So there probably could be some like real, you know, obese 600-pound life TLC type people, you know what I'm saying, affected by it, and they can't move at all. You're fine, but you might get that fucking all sports, you know, medal winning sprinter who's after your ass. You know, that's pretty cool, I think.
Unless the virus was strong enough to take that ability away.
Yes, or vice versa, like, give you the ability.
Right.
You know,
if it just affects you in a fucked up way, I think we could round them up and quarantine it eventually.
Sure.
But there's going to be several losses of life.
A show I recommend, if you like zombie shit, Black Summer on Netflix.
You know, I'm really not into zombie shit, but I did watch that one.
You did?
It was really good.
Fucking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Real good.
So this is what my perspective is on the zombies, probably, is Black Summer kind of happening.
Yeah. I like I feel like post-apocalyptic shit and zombie shit has been so overdone, it's like ridiculous, but there's some good ones out there. I do like Black Summer. I like how it showed like how it like started, kind of like shows the pandemonium of like.
Yep.
I like that kind of shit.
And like the security checks, the military and that kind of stuff, and like
Right,
people getting up from their families. And, like,
it would really be like that.
It was powerful.
Like, it would definitely be like that if it happened. The problem with like 7+ billion people is like, you know, it would definitely spread quite a bit, because it would have spread to every continent before you even knew it, just because of air travel, you know.
And that's what happened with the fucking the virus, the coronavirus. Like, it just happened, got discovered in China, and now we have a confirmed case in Washington. You know what I mean? Like, that's how fast that happened because of air travel.
I heard a comedian one time talking about that kind of shit. He was saying it's like whenever someone comes down with like some kind of crazy illness like that, they always get a sudden urge to get on a fucking plane.
Yeah, it fucking happens, dude.
Damn it. Just don't go anywhere.
And my thing too is like that's a fucking like an airborne illness from what I understand. It's like, you know, you can sneeze and like it's traveling, that kind of stuff. So whoever was on that plane with that individual is probably susceptible to what that guy had.
Yeah.
Because the air on a plane is recycled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everyone's breathing the same fucking shit.
I think that comedian was saying like, just be a decent human and just walk out into the woods and die or something like.
Yeah, just off yourself, man. You know what I mean?
Do it for the better good.
Yeah, exactly. That's awful, man. But a good perspective to have if you want to save a lot of people, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know you're down with like the plague or something like that.
It's always those assholes. They're like, no, I'm not bit. What are you talking about?
Exactly. In Black Summer, dude. You remember
always...
that fucking the diner scene where the dude was like in the middle and he's like telling them to get the fuck out. He's sacrifice that one girl or whatever, and he was already bit. What a fucking douchebag,
God.
Dude. That really pissed me off.
It's like,
I was like, wow.
Why are they assholes?
Yeah. Like, he could have been like, look, I'm already bit. I'm going out there, sacrifice myself. You guys find some cover because I'm fucked.
Or even just shoot me in the head.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be eaten or something.
Something like that, dude.
Something.
But yeah, he suffered a
I'm
bad
going to put everyone in jeopardy.
Yeah, because I'm selfish.
For no reason.
And I'm going to beat this illness.
Yeah, it's like, society's already collapsed. It's like, why do you even want to be alive?
Right, yeah.
Why be an asshole?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the perspective of those kind of people is, you know, I'm sick and I can beat this fucking illness.
Yeah,
and they never. Yeah, I'm strong, and they never fucking do.
There's gonna be a cure. We just gotta get to the military checkpoint. And they're gonna gun you down if they see you.
Yeah, the fucking stadium, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Good show.
It was. Yeah. Man. There's so many though.
There's so many of them, man.
So many.
I think that my favorite movie of all time, like zombie wise, is 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah.
And it's very in the same realm of like Black Summer, the fast zombies and like destructive shit.
Weeks, was that the sequel?
Yes, the sequel.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. My girlfriend said that. I can't remember if she said 28 Days was her favorite, or maybe 28 Weeks. But yeah.
28 Days is really good. 28 Weeks is better.
And I don't remember if I've seen that one or not. Dude, I don't know.
You gotta do it.
She's gonna watch it with me. She'll show it to me.
Sit down with your girlfriend, bro. It's a great popcorn popper. You know what I'm saying?
But me and her were getting pissed off about all this zombie shit because we're always so mad when we watch it. Like, you idiot! We're just yelling at the TV.
Dude, me and my girlfriend do the same shit, bro.
Like,
for real. Like you criticize everything they do because we act like in our position, if we were in that same scene, we would never fucking do that. But who knows what we would do in that situation when you're not thinking clearly.
That's true, but these people are dumb.
Dumb as
hell.
hell.
We watched this like Korean movie, a Korean zombie movie.
Is it Train to Busan?
Yeah.
Good fucking movie, dude.
It was good, but they were so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, I know you're caught up in the moment and everything, but unless they're just that fucking stupid, it's like, you gotta like have some ground rules. Like, you gotta have rules. Like, shut the fucking door behind you.
See, and that's where it comes down to having a good fucking team behind you. Like, I know if I had the East Side team with me, we'd be fucking straight, you know what I mean, all the way through.
Yeah.
But if you have a team that's not like sound and you're not on the same page,
strangers.
Shady, yeah, and you got some dudes who are fucking selfish as hell, you're not getting anywhere with that shit, bro, for real. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna get fucked over because he's gonna leave a door open to kill your ass to save his own life.
Yeah.
Where I know for the East Siders, I would throw myself in the fucking Train Busan bus, train, you know, car, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, if I save their lives, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be vice versa across the board, I'm sure. You know
Definitely.
What I mean? You said or die.
Like, you remember, what was it, Zombieland?
Oh, that's a good fucking
comedy
movie, dude.
one? Yeah.
Yes.
That was like the best one as far as like, this kid's smart. He's got rules. He's like,
Yeah.
you do this, don't do that. That's how you got to be if you really want to try to survive.
He fucking plays by those rules to a T, dude. He doesn't stray off of that shit. And when his rules are compromised even, he always sticks to those rules.
It's like, if something like that goes down, that's the kind of mentality you got to have. You got to have some rules now. None of this, oh God, I forgot the door, sorry, fuck.
Right.
Like, what, dude?
What is your, like, ideal A team for a zombie apocalypse?
Just skilled motherfuckers. Like,
Skilled.
honestly, like, I mean, because if you're running, you got to get weapons or something. If you come across guns, you could be with a bunch of people that never shot a gun in their life.
Yeah, I'd be fucked in that realm. To be honest. I've never shot a gun in my life, so.
I mean, I've used guns, but I'm not like fluent with them. So
yeah, you can point, you can shoot, you can load it
or something. Like, I don't know.
Some fucking friendly fire.
I mean, you know, you'd want to be. If you're with any like fat fucks, they're dead. I mean, if they can't outrun.
You want a slender team, obviously.
You gotta be fast, but you know, you gotta be a little strong if something goes down. I don't know if I would make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to make it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that'd be a very tough world to live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, would you want to make it?
Would I want to? Yeah, definitely. I think I would, just to see how the world would fucking be, man. Like, I wonder.
I mean, instincts. I would try and stay alive, you know, but
if I had to die, I'd be like, okay, well.
If I'm starving to death, I mean, I'm not gonna have much energy to get away.
Yeah, like you're really.
It's gotta work out. You gotta find food, water. Fuck.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know how to live off the land.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be fucked.
Dude, there's some people that are gonna be fine.
Straight.
People that are like, you know, fucking like mountaineer motherfuckers and shit that like they do that already for fun.
Yeah.
like
they're gonna be straight.
They won't even know anything happened.
They probably already have a bunker. You know what I'm saying?
They won't even They won't even run into a zombie for 20 years. By the time the zombie makes it out as far as wherever the hell they are.
No fucking shit.
They don't even know, like, oh, there's a zombie outbreak. Yeah, like 20 years ago.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they can go camp up on fucking Mount Everest and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Like Inuits out in like the Arctic.
That'd be
they probably
smart.
don't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
If it's not around,
they're not going to travel down there.
If they're not around civilization, and realistically, like if there were zombies, they're not going to be that superhuman. They'll freeze to death.
Sure.
Right? Please.
They should. They really should. Would a zombie freeze to death, or would it keep fighting?
There's something in their blood that's just so warm the whole time.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like they could swim all the way down there or something like that, you know?
Yeah, like motor skills. They know how to swim.
Or what if they know how to swim and a shark bites them, gets infected, and then infects the entire ocean?
Oh my God.
That'd be fucking insane.
Yeah. You can't fish anymore.
Yeah, you can't fish anymore. Can't live off the water.
Dude, I don't even want to eat seafood anymore because I feel like I'm just eating plastic, dude.
Is that right?
Which is really
so is that in your mind when you're eating seafood?
Really fucked up to say, but
is that what's in your mind when you eat seafood now? Is
pretty
that
much
there's plastic in there?
Like there's plastic in here. There's got to be.
Oh, that's
microplastic or something. I'm sure there might be areas of the world still that are okay, sort of, but I think like the majority of the ocean is like becoming like fucked.
Yeah,
because we suck.
And they're doing some really cool like things for water, you know, water pollution.
They have the ocean cleanup project, and
yeah, you saw that?
Yeah,
it's fucking cool. I thought, you know, but it's only gonna take off the like 1% of the fucking trash in the ocean right now.
Mm-hmm.
Outrageous.
Yeah,
look what we fucking done to the ocean, man. It's fucking disgusting.
It's fucked up what we've done to this whole planet, but you know, fingers crossed that more people are waking up to this shit, you know?
Yeah, I think that...
I mean, they definitely are.
If you look at where we were at like 10 years ago, and when the term global warming was getting tossed around, and everyone saying, no, fuck that shit, that's not going to be a thing, that's so fake, that's some like made up media bullshit for some funding stuff. The scientists are being dead ass serious. Like, we're fucking our shit up right now pretty bad.
Dude, I could give a fuck if it's like a hoax or not. Who cares, dude? I want free energy. What do you want bills for? You want to pay bills all your life? Like, dude, what do you...
No shit. I want solar energy. That's fucking...
Clean, efficient, like, oh, fucking lightning storm. Oops, no power. What kind of Stone Age shit is this?
Yeah.
Like,
and if you've... Oh, dude, you're fucking about to unlock a new chapter of the conversation here. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Genius guy. He made like roofing tiles.
Yeah.
into solar panels. It looks seamlessly like a roofing, like just a regular roof, but it's all solar panels. Fucking
Dude,
amazing.
just the thing he's doing. He's got SpaceX. He's got Tesla.
The tunnels and shit too.
Yeah. Fucking
Bro.
flamethrower. Like,
Dude, yes.
I love him how he's like so goofy. Like,
Yeah,
he's
a
doing
meme
crazy
dude.
shit.
He's a meme dude, and I respect that highly.
You know, God bless Elon Musk. Because honestly, like, do you remember? I don't know if you ever heard of this. Back in the day, there was a documentary called "Who Killed the Electric Car."
No.
And it was about like one of the original electric cars. Like GM produced an electric car in the 90s, and it was, great because of the electric car. And then they ended up just like tanking
Tossing
the project. Like, yeah, no, that's going to hurt our profits like a lot because it's like,
What the fuck?
it's efficient. One of the biggest things in like the automotive industry is the automotive service repair industry. Like
Sure.
this shit's designed to break down and get your oil changed, and then you just have like some electric motor.
It's all a big fucking system, dude. It's disgusting. We're all subject to it, obviously.
And I believe that whoever the big heads in charge of these corporations and shit, they probably did kill the electric car project because, I don't know, too efficient. What other ever reasons? I mean. But then you get someone like Elon Musk comes in the private sector, he's just some dude, billionaire now with PayPal and shit. So now I'm gonna make an electric car company. And it's like,
many don't fucking know that about Elon Musk. Elon created PayPal.
Y'all don't even know about PayPal.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that shit for real. I mean, I talked to so many people about that concept alone of PayPal, and like he has since the beginning of his creations thought about the betterment of humanity. Like PayPal, everyone fucking uses it. Whether it's Venmo, Cash App, or some service like that, you use internet transferred money. That has fucking done tremendous things for businesses.
Yeah.
Independent artists, you know what I mean? I can make $200 tonight by someone PayPaling me for a beat, you know what I mean? While I'm sitting here, that could happen.
And I'm sure the whole infrastructure of PayPal led to, the card readers and shit for I'm doing it on my tablet,
Right, or Apple Pay. That definitely was the infrastructure for all of that to happen. Right. So shout out to fucking Elon Musk, man.
So like some dude in the private sector, I'll make my own electric car company. And now what do we see? GM and all these other car companies following
Copying
suit.
it.
It's like, thank God, dude. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like they literally had a documentary about how, the corporations like are all against this shit. And now it's just like, oh, we love electric cars. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like,
and I think that's what Elon had to do was make it trendy. You know what I mean? Had to make it a popular thing that everyone would do. That's all that really needed to happen.
I might be wrong, but I swear I've heard him say things like, he's not really, or I've heard him talking about like, if you work at Tesla, you could be under a lot of stress. It's a really like intense job, especially for Elon himself.
Sure.
He's like probably working himself to death, but he's like, I've heard him talk about like him trying to motivate his employees, like, we're trying to save the world here. Like, seriously, it's like,
let's do this fucking work.
That's why we're working 80 hours a week. Like, literally, like, it's a tough gig, but they're actually trying to change something. So
someone's got to do it, and Elon Musk has been appointed the savior of the world. That's simple.
Yeah, and he just wants everyone else he wants GM and them to get on board. Yeah, I'm sure he's super stoked that there's other electric cars and other electric car companies out there now.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think he's feeling right now. He started off with this project and SpaceX and that kind of stuff too. You know what I mean? As an oddball, no one cared about it. And Tesla was actually a failure in its first infancy. Like, it went bankrupt and he didn't know what the fuck to do. SpaceX, was a failure when it first started. But now look at what he's doing with that shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, NASA is finally getting behind it. Like,
yeah, NASA's
you're literally like, you're outdoing the government.
Yeah.
All of our billions of tax dollars, one smart dude's like, that's bullshit. Do it like this.
Here's a cost-effective way to do it.
Dude, those fucking rockets that can land themselves, like...
That's what I mean. The first one that went up, fucking... blew up or whatever the fuck happened to it, right?
Yeah.
And then he did it again and again, and it actually worked. And
dude, that's the other thing. Like space exploration, rockets, satellites, all that scientific shit is great, but that also is like pretty fucking like wasteful as far as like resources. All these $1 billion rockets, dude.
Gas and shit.
That means so much that you can just like land a rocket and keep using it over and over again. And it's not like just some expendable piece of equipment.
Yeah, because prior to this, they would just make a rocket that would fucking just like,
it's good for one use.
Yeah, one use only. non-renewable.
Yeah.
And his whole idea of just like, transportation. I mean, that's a great fucking idea. You can go from here to France probably faster than in a plane on a rocket. I feel like probably.
Yeah. You know what? I think we need to get rid of air travel. I think we need like hyperloop tunnels and shit.
Yes,
like,
in the water and shit.
Yeah, shit. Like
Why not?
I think that's the future. Air travel. I think if we ever make it to like way in the future, I think looking back, people will look at air travel like, man, that's so shitty and obsolete. Like,
Sure. I mean,
and wasteful. Dude, I heard like
it's a pain in the ass.
Dude, I heard that I don't know, you'd have to fact check this, but I heard some crazy number. Like every single person on a plane, like you take one plane trip, you alone wasted like 100,000 gallons of fuel or something. I mean, or oil,
shit.
or could be wrong. I don't know.
Wow.
Just
from one plane ride?
Basically. And I'm not saying like that doesn't make sense because like I don't think the plane has like 100-gallon plus tank or something. I mean like the equivalent of like crude oil or so. I don't really know.
Right, but the raw material,
or even the raw materials in the plane, like I don't know.
That's
tires
fucking insane, dude.
I don't know. I don't know if it's accurate, but it's probably just as bad.
It's obviously very wasteful. I mean, it's not a good resource, and people fly all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
and then these world leaders go to like a climate change conference in their private jets.
In the private jets? Yeah, exactly.
We're so dumb, dude.
It's so backwards,
fucking
dude.
stupid.
Yeah.
Well, but again, things are better. Like I feel like we're slowly pulling our heads out of our asses, and we might be able to get this thing back on the rails.
And I think it's due to Elon Musk. In general.
He's one of the biggest. Dude, it's funny that his company's called Tesla because he's literally like our Nikola Tesla.
Yes, I thought the same fucking thing. That's probably what he thought as well. Like, his importance of electricity. The way Tesla worked with electricity is the same way that Elon does too. I also find it funny that he calls his company the Boring Company.
Yeah,
when it's really cool fucking shit that he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's outrageous.
And it's like a play on words, right? Because he's boring under the ground, digging. So
exactly, and that's what the product is. Yeah, it's fucking. I never thought about that. It's really funny.
Yeah.
That double entendre.
That's what I assumed it was. I figured after I was like boring. I get it now. I think that's because he's like trying to be funny. I feel like that's what he's doing.
he's a weird guy, and I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elon, man.
Man, like he goes on like Joe Rogan and smokes weed.
Yeah,
and like the stock drops like 6%. Everyone losing their minds. Like, dude, that's so dope. Like, just because it's like he don't give a fuck type of mentality. Because it's like, yeah, he's Elon Musk. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up and let him work. Like,
and all that was too is if he takes one hit of that fucking the blunt or whatever it was. Look at how many people fucking viewed that video, the entire thing, to hear what he had to say about the tunnels and that kind of stuff.
I think that was the biggest episode Joe ever did.
Yeah, because he smoked a fucking blunt.
Like, dude, and now it's funny, it tanked the stock, but now, as of now, the stock's higher than it's ever been.
It's right back up, like it never happened.
Dude, like last year it was at like 300 and now it's at 500. It's like, all right.
Is Elon a marketing genius, you think? Do you think he orchestrated that to make a meme out of it?
I don't think so.
You think so? He just did it?
I think it was perfect because I think it was just too, Joe Rogan's type of universe that he was walking into. I mean, I guess being on Joe Rogan's podcast, he has weed there. And it was just kind of like, hey, perhaps, do you want to try it? Like,
you want to take a hit, Elon?
It's legal, right? Like,
why not?
I don't think it was necessarily planned, but,
because if you
I think Joe might have secretly planned that. Like, I might just ask him, like, hey, do you want to perhaps? Like,
and make the biggest.
I feel like Joe had something to do with that, and he's probably like laughing himself to death about that.
That'd be fucking smart, man. If that's what Joe thought about beforehand, very good move.
And Joe was bringing up the fact how like the whole episode they've been dringing whiskey and shit. No one cares. Oh, he took one hit of. Oh my god, like. But again, being a hugely influential billionaire, genius like him, I think it's important, like socially. Like I think it was a good move that he smoked that weed, not just like, oh, it's so cool, Elon Musk getting high. Like it's just cool, like socially. It's like, yeah, like a big time CEO, smartest person on the world can smoke weed, and why is it still illegal? Like
exactly, and that's a huge
points to like points to like that social issue. It's like, why is points out like how stupid this shit still is. It's like, why do we care if he smoked this shit, you know?
And that might be his perspective too, is why can't I not smoke a fucking blunt on camera?
I remember I watched that episode. Later on in the episode, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm getting texts from like people are hitting him up like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like they were, what are you doing? How could you possibly, you know, like just acting like it's the end of the world? Yeah, yeah. And that's what's hilarious. It's like he don't give a fuck because it's like, and I think it's like if you ask me, that's like a power move. It's like, yeah, take that hit of weed because fuck these weed laws. Fuck anyone acting like it's, oh my god,
why does it fucking
so
matter?
bad?
It's
like,
a plant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
In the future, people are going to look back on that and be like, oh, a person took a hit of weed. Why would anyone care whatsoever? Like,
yeah, what's the big fucking deal, dude?
Dude, if I had kids right now, they're going to grow up in a totally different world than even I was raised in, you know?
I thought the same thing.
We were brought up with, like, dare, say no to fucking weed for some reason.
And it was the biggest fucking joke in the world. You know how many jokes were made from dare? You know what I mean?
And dare, like, even a few years ago, I think it's been, they took weed out of the curriculum. So it's like... Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, you might still go to, even if you might still have dare in school for like other drugs, it's like the whole weed thing is just going to be a thing of the past. Like with alcohol, could you even imagine like alcohol prohibition?
Like that'd be fucking insane. I understand why people went rampant in the streets and just did crazy shit like that.
We're going to get to tell our grandkids, I remember marijuana prohibition. Yeah. Like,
no shit. Wow.
And they're gonna be like, wow, that's insane. Like, how could that even be you know, like,
that's crazy to think about, man. That's fucking
the stories you get to tell. Like, we're in the craziest generation.
Because I've been a part of the trade and that kind of stuff, you know, of the illegal distribution, you know what I mean, and that kind of thing. And I think that's very powerful to think about, that, you know, your kid walks into there, and I remember a time when I could get arrested and thrown into prison for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and now you can literally, broad daylight in the middle of downtown, walk into a fucking store and be like, here's money. Yeah. Thank you. Fucking walk out. Or
get edibles and that kind of stuff. Like different ways they've manufactured to make it more consumable. That's fucking insane to think about, man.
And it's just, yeah, I mean, I think things are heading in a good direction just overall. There's a lot of rough patches we're going to hit because things are so weird. It's going to be a little weird. Not everything's perfect. Not at all, but... generally speaking, I think things are going to keep getting better just because of the internet and just how social issues keep changing. It's like people just are, you know,
taking their head out of their asses.
Yep, waking up more to the fact of like how everything is bullshit, how the whole, you know, government is bullshit, you know, most of the ways. Because like,
I agree with you, man.
It's like that. It's like that meme. It's such bullshit that like, you know, people are still in jail for this stuff when it's like, the only reason anyone sells drugs is because they're poor and need money, really. Like, I mean, to make money.
So if you made it into a job, an occupation, then they might not sell drugs. They might go work for a medicinal farm and that kind of stuff.
It's just like a thing that someone does, and we've all been there, right? We've all sold drugs.
Relatable. Yeah, I've been there.
We're poor. We've all, you know.
Been there, done that.
So,
T-shirt.
But now you're going to sit there and tell me that... people are still in jail for this because the government's doing the exact same thing for the exact same reason. Like, the government has bills to pay, and now they are turning to selling drugs.
Especially fucking Illinois. They're so broke, dude.
Yeah.
My God. I went to Chicago a couple of months ago. Fucking $14 in tolls just to get to Chicago.
Oh, I know.
Insane.
Yeah, last time I went to Chicago, I took the toll road, and I was like, I'm not having this. Like... because I don't know, a few years ago I went to Chicago and I didn't remember it being that bad.
Sure.
I didn't feel like I paid that many tolls as I did the last time. So, you know, last time I went up, we took the normal route. And all these tolls, I was like, what the fuck?
It's insane. Shocking, isn't it?
That's it. Next time I'm putting in the GPS, no toll roads. Like, I ain't doing it. I'll take the side roads. I don't care.
Yeah, it'd be like an hour longer, but fuck it, dude. Like, I'm not going to pay $28 to go in and out of Chicago.
And the other thing is, like, these roads better be pristine.
Yeah.
I went through one toll, and then like a mile later, it was like, I'm like, what the fuck?
And potholes and shit.
I'm going back to the booth. I'm gonna yell at them and be like, I ain't paying for this.
That shows you where the fucking funding is going. You know what I mean? Just to get them out of the debt they're in.
Yeah, it's like, I get it if the roads are perfect, but No.
Yeah. I was shocked completely. But
What about that gas tax? There's like some gas tax now.
yeah, in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you notice. I mean, if you go over there, it's like 10 or 20 cents more expensive, just in general because of the tax. I'm pretty sure.
I don't even pay attention to that because I don't get gas, and I get gas at Sam's Club if I
Good fucking move,
need
man.
to.
Very smart,
And other than that, I drive an electric, so I don't rarely need it.
dude. That's a fucking blessing, man. Sam's Club.
Oh,
Come
God.
on.
So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the most recent price for your gallon? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe like $15 for 6 gallons.
That's not bad at
is that
all,
right?
man. Yeah. Holy shit.
I mean, it's more expensive now. I remember a few years ago it was cheaper. I think it's still like what, in the $3 something range.
Yeah, right.
It
now
wasn't
it's
like the $2 range for a while. But.
Now it's like at the price I just had today was like $2.39 for a gallon or whatever at like a BP.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine yours is probably a little more discounted at Sam's Club.
I remember like a few years ago, Sam's was like $1.80. I was like, oh, that'd be perfect.
Fucking insane. Can you imagine that right now, man? Bliss.
Even back in the day, like $1 a gallon, that'd be madness. Like,
why can't they do that for wintertime? You know what I mean? Because we're not driving as much. Just knock it down a little bit. You know?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the gas tax is supposed to go towards the roads and things.
Really?
If you trust them, I mean,
I doubt
it
it.
sounds great. It should, because they're supposed to have. What are you doing with all this weed money now? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they made what, $60 million in their first like day open?
no, it was like, like
3 or 4 million.
3.2.
Okay, I thought it was like 60. I'm completely off then.
I think in projection though of like that much, projected to earn that much probably.
Yeah.
Or more. I think I can't remember what it was.
Probably in the quarter, I bet. I mean, people fucking love smoking weed, man, and eating edibles and kind of stuff. And if you
Illinois is
go
gonna
down
have to do
to-
something about the prices.
Yeah, and the supply too, because they have a shortage on the green. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're
And
really
herb.
bad with the tax, but we need to have a surplus, and in a few years, hopefully it'll even out and prices will get low, like some of the other states, hopefully. But step in the right direction, hopefully.
Yeah, and like you said, Elon Musk was a huge fucking step into that right direction. I think with smoking on camera, the face of a fucking CEO. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Like socially, it's like a big deal, like
Yeah.
for that reason, because it's like you're gonna tell me that some billionaire genius CEO can smoke weed, no one, and it's fine, but yet motherfuckers are in jail, like.
Yeah,
Why?
for selling the same thing.
God.
You know what I mean?
And that's the cool thing Illinois is doing is like expunging the records or whatever.
Yeah, that's
cool.
nice. That's really cool.
And one thing Nevada did that's nice is they banned most employers from being able to drug test for it.
See, that's important.
That's the next step too. It's like it should be like that everywhere that has legal weed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you fucking see when they passed that bill in Chicago? They attached on a full-term abortion bill on the same thing.
for what?
So yeah, so when that got passed through, they tucked in
What, the weed you're saying?
the weed
Okay.
bill.
Yeah.
They tucked in on the same bill, full-term abortions are allowed.
Are allowed?
So yeah, so now you can have a full-term abortion in Illinois.
Huh.
It's fucking insane. So like, it's not like at the 3-month mark, whatever, the first trimester. It's like all the way up before the baby is born, all the way. You can kill it.
How do you feel about that?
That's tough, man. It's a tough.
That's such a touchy subject.
I'm all about women having the power of their own body if they choose that, but I think that someone should know if they're going to abort their child. Not that I am a proponent for abortion and that kind of stuff, but I'm a proponent for your own rights. And I think that they should know in the first couple of weeks or so if they can have the child with that individual or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes down to you and the relationship with the baby daddy, if you want to call him that, the father of the child. You know what I mean? If you guys can do it, keep it. You know, if you can have and give a good life to that child. If you can't do it, there's adoption too. If you can't muster that, then do what you got to do, I guess. But that's your choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend late-term abortions, but from what I've heard statistically, and I don't know if this is correct, but they said that's like a last resort option. Like if it's jeopardizing the health of the child or the mother, that's the reason.
Could you imagine being in that fucking shoe, dude? Oh my God.
Huh?
Like, could you imagine like being the mom in that shoe right there?
Mm-hmm.
Like I might die if this child is born.
Yeah, it's tough shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know why they would have to tack on a law for that to be allowed.
Right.
Like, because are you telling me that they weren't allowed to do that beforehand? Like, oh, this could endanger your life but we're not allowed to? Like,
Exactly.
I thought they would just do it just because it, like, for medical emergency reason, like a late term abortion. And I've heard, yeah, like I said, that the only time they do late term abortions is because of a medical emergency reason.
Right. Like it's a danger to the health of somebody else.
You have to ask, are the doctors and the abortion clinics being like, oh, what, 8 months? Yeah, come on in, like, or whatever.
Right.
Like, they probably got some like discretion, right, to where they're like, yeah, it's legal, but we don't do that. You know, it's like for an emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something. I don't understand, but I mean, yeah.
Like, should they have the choice of doing the full-term abortion? Like, I mean, that's the risky thing of it.
I think a full-term abortion should be like a last-minute thing.
Exactly.
But then, if you want to get right down to it, I don't really give a fuck about unborn babies. I don't.
Yeah, I understand. What do you mean by that exactly?
I mean, like, personally, I'll just say this: if I was aborted, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't be here.
You wouldn't know any different, you know.
So honestly, some people might say that's cruel, but I don't care.
Yeah, and
I mean,
and that's the thing is it's all perspective, it's all opinion, and people get so fucking wrapped up in like, oh, you're an asshole for saying that, but it's like, I think a woman should have the choice to do that if they want to. That's their bodies, you know what I mean? Us as men, we ejaculate, and then you know,
we just kick back.
We kick back, and like they carry the baby for 9 months. They do all the shit, all the power, and a lot of times men fucking leave their women like a little fucking bitch, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like when they have the responsibility of a child. I think that's it's definitely in the power of the woman to keep that child or not. And if she doesn't want it, fucking do what you gotta do.
Right.
You know what I mean? If the dad's gonna be a fucking dick and gonna be unsupported the entire time, if you want to raise a child by yourself and have that hardship, but love the child in every way, fucking do that shit, man. But if you can't handle that and he's not gonna be supportive and that kid's gonna have a fucking tough life and you know that, make the best choice that you can with your own opinion.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And like you said, the baby's not gonna know any different, you know, but it is still the loss of a life, I guess.
It's definitely 100% a potential life that you're ending.
Yeah.
People want to, they want to say, like, it's not a life. It's, because it's unborn.
There's no heartbeat or whatever, but
yeah, technically, but it's potentially, a living person,
See, in my eyes, I think that when it's the seed and the egg, the sperm and the egg combining, that's when that's a fucking life. That's potential for life, in my opinion. And at any point of that, you're killing a life, essentially. But it's really up to you where your morals are at as a person. I can't force you to have a certain opinion. I can't force you to have a certain action. And I would never change someone to think that way. You know what you need to do at the bottom of your heart,
Yeah. And I guess I just try and look at it from like a realistic perspective. Like, I wish everyone that had sex and got pregnant was like, down for it. Yeah. You're not idiots. You're, hopefully financially okay, or, like,
and if not, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. And, I hope you want to have a kid. Like, it's a healthy thing. It's not like some unhealthy shit where
which a lot of it is.
You're bad fucking people or something, because, I'll be real with you. I believe that most people shouldn't have kids.
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
There's too many like bad parents. Like, I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who I think don't believe themselves having a kid, but once they do, it's beautiful to watch them become parents.
Yeah, they'll step up to the plate. It'll help them grow as a person.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
There's a few that I know definitely that impress me. You know what I mean? And watching them do what they do makes me very proud.
Yeah, like, it can be a great thing, as it should be, but it can be really, like, bad. And at the end of the day, if you want to, like, say no abortion, then I don't think you care about the kids, because, I'll just allow this child to be born into an abusive household.
See that, or like, a product of rape, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Those are the situations where I think that, like, abortions are very appropriate. If a woman got abused and she got raped and she has this child now that's out of rape, you know, she might have religious beliefs where she can't abort the child and that kind of stuff, or moral implication with that. But a lot of women don't want that baby. They don't want to have the idea of that baby and that kind of stuff, and seeing it grow up to be the face of the raper and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It'd be fucking terrifying.
I know.
You know, imagine that reality every day. And that's why I think that it's very sticky to get rid of the abortion law.
Yeah.
You know, in those cases.
Yeah, I'm totally pro-choice, so.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And that's what's the nomenclature, right? Pro-choice. It's choice. It's not you have to get an abortion. It's your choice.
Yeah, because I don't think pro-life is pro-life. Like I said, it's like, so you're pro having children being raised in horrible environments? Because that's what is a lot of the case, like a lot of times.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think that's very good. But
there's a possibility that child could become a lotus out of the mud. You know what I mean? Or become a rose out of the crack of the
They want to say, like, what if he discovers a cure for cancer? Yeah. Great.
That's possible.
And if not, okay. Like,
or what if the child has severe depression and ends up committing suicide at some point, that kind of stuff.
What if he grows up to be a mass shooter?
Yeah, and that happens.
Anything could happen. So yeah, it's such a weird topic.
It's a crazy world,
It's like one of those, dude, babies and like children. That's like one of the craziest forms of like human freedom. Where, like, you know, they say, like, I gotta have a license to fish, but I can just have babies whenever.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's fucking insane to think about, too, isn't it? Like, you should be kind of licensed to have a kid, maybe.
But do you think, wouldn't there be so much outrage? Like, oh, the state? Because it would have to be, like, the government, I guess, imposing, like, oh, you're only allowed, like in China, only allowed one kid or something.
And that's to prevent that's population control.
And it seems like a dictator thing. That you can't tell me that. And it's like, you're right. But then again, at the same time, it's like, there's too many bad parents.
Yeah, and also it's for the betterment of the population in China. You know, that's the thing that they have to think about. You know what I mean? It is restricting your fucking right to have a kid.
And then they fucked their shit up because they preferred like males. And then there's all these like females in adoption and like all like a huge
backwards
way, like too many females or too few male or whatever it was. And
that disrupts the mating process, right? If you have less females and more males, that's not going to be good for your country.
It's not good,
you know.
But I mean, like, yeah, if you tried to impose like an application, you got to pass certain things to be allowed to have kids or something. It's like, I feel like people would outrage or something, but it's like, but then again, it's like, you shouldn't be a piece of shit and have kids. So
yeah, and I agree with you completely. I think that, like, even if not on a paper, but a mental checklist of like, are we able to have this kid together? You know what I mean? Are we not a toxic relationship? Are we solid as you know, man, woman? You know what I mean? In this relationship, you know, are we able to talk about our problems instead of getting upset with each other and yelling and screaming and throwing fucking shit? Or can we communicate and be good parents together and be a good example for this child? You know, essentially. I think that's those are important things to checklist, and financial shit too, of course. But those are all things that can change, possibly,
or even change for the worse. Like, you might be financially set and then you lose your job.
Yeah, then the fucking Great Depression happens again.
Shit's tough.
Which I think is bound to happen any moment now.
I've been following, like, you know, there's gonna be like another housing crisis, I think, where like the market bubble bursts again.
I assume it's gonna be all the loans. The loans that are out right now, because basically a lot of people don't understand how the banking system works in America or the world, really. But when you walk into a bank, they don't have the money in the vault.
I know.
Like, people think that it's all in the vault.
It's like they can loan out like $1 like 10 times or something like that
before
ratio.
God. Yeah, and it's fucking insane. So what you're doing is really you're getting a loan because they can write to whatever creditor that is getting the loan out. So let's go your car dealership, Doll Ford, something like that. Not a paid advertisement by any means. But Doll Ford, you go there, get a car, and they do a loan. Well, it's like you're pretty much promising the bank to pay them back the money that you're buying the car for, because they don't have the money. But you're paying them the same money to go back into their account, and then interest as well on top of that. So you're paying them actually more money that you already have, but the bank just has okay to say, yeah, this person is financially stable to pay back this money at this time.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And it's the big banks' fault that there ever was a depression and recession and shit.
And it's going to happen again.
Yeah, like, because back in the day, what was it? It was like there was like, rumors that went around the stock market and created like a huge like chaos where it's like, oh, the market's gonna crash or what? So everyone tried to like sell.
Yeah.
And then everyone tried to go to the bank and take all their money out at once and like, well, we don't have it.
Exactly.
Like,
That's when they realized,
oops,
this is fucked up. You know what I mean?
It's like when everyone tries to withdraw their money at once. Oops, depression. Like,
yeah, that's what's gonna happen essentially, because we all have money in the bank, but they don't have the money in the bank.
I think the central banking thing is such a scam.
It
honestly. Yeah, because I mean, they started that shit back in like 1907. Like, oh, it's never gonna happen again. Like, there was like a financial scare way back then, from what I heard. Then they started like the central banking practices, like, oh, it's depression proof. And like,
it happened again.
It happened in 1920. There was like a scare. Same shit, and then it happened again for really bad in 29.
Yeah,
and then
for the Great Depression.
30s, yeah. So it's like, dude, it's happened like 3 times already since it said, oh, never again.
And like, even the Great Recession that we had recently in 2008, we're overdue for another recession essentially.
Yeah.
And it's gonna fuck up a lot of people, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like I said, the loans, because I know I have loans out that I'm paying down. I'm a part of the system. I'm sure everyone else. If you might have some loans too, for that matter. I don't know if you do or not, but we are like a slave to that particular system. And if that crashes, what happens to those possessions that we have loans on? What happens to the things that like what the fuck happens? Really, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that college debt loans, there's, at least probably like 10 people. I know I do, who have college debt loans and not paying shit on it at all. Yeah. They're just sitting there accumulating more interest, and that's a huge fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, how is that sustainable? If we both know 10 people, imagine how many people there are in the world that are not paying their fucking college loans.
Dude, and like, if you read statistics of like the average person has this much debt, it's like, how much? Like,
yeah,
Jesus, like,
it's fucking insane. But that's the thing in America is we're doing overconsumption. Whether it's like food, items like the iPhone, you know what I mean? A lot of people have loans on their phones, which is fucking insane. If you look at like a phone company, essentially as a loan, you're paying them over time to pay for the phone. You know what I mean? It's just an overconsumption culture of America that's like gonna basically kill ourselves.
Yep.
Economically.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people with like personal practices that aren't good, like people spending above their means and shit. And
right, I know I've been a victim of that in the past.
We all have, I'm sure. But then again, the bigger problem is these fucking banks basically doing the same shit. They're like spending above their means.
They're doing the same They're promising X amount of dollars when they have, W amount of dollars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They don't have the X,
And like, I think there's going to be a housing crisis. I don't know, as far as like back in 08, like a lot of people lost their jobs and things like that. I don't know if it's going to get that bad, but I think something's going to happen bad with the housing market. Probably. Sure. I've heard predictions. People say like 2020. All I know is that the interest rates are super fucking low right now, and they're predicted to stay that way maybe for the year.
Wow.
And that can be good and bad. It might help other people
catch
buy
up on
homes
and shit.
Yeah, or you could refinance and stuff. But then if it bursts, bad things can happen. It's like you're paying a lot of money on a house that's not worth that anymore. But I don't know, just ride it out.
Yeah,
because the value will come back. That's like, I don't know, it feels like a lot of times people freaking out in like times of maybe
change.
Crisis or something. Like it's like when if you own stocks, the stock dropped a fucking shit ton, and they're like, oh no, I gotta sell it. It's like, no, you just gotta like wait, because it'll go back up usually, hopefully. Usually the problems come from everyone like selling when the shit goes low.
Right, and that's what the
don't
shift
sell when
is.
it's low, you buy when it's low.
Yeah, that's what the shift is right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're actually encouraging more buyers that are smart, buy that. Like if Mark Zuckerberg said something fucking stupid and it went down, like it would still go back up because of Instagram.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that kind of stuff.
Like we said with Elon Musk smoking weed.
Yeah.
Dropped
that
stock like
happened.
6%, and now it's like up fucking like 50% or
and
30.
some smart motherfuckers went and bought at that drop of 6% and made insane returns on their investment right now. I'm sure if they sold today. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things, you know. It's like you buy a Disney stock and you know that he's a racist or whatever, and it comes out that he's a racist. Well, you know, you buy it when it's low, and then, you know, it's back up to where it's at because everyone forgets about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, easily forget too.
Yeah.
More nowadays than ever because the news cycle's so fast.
Right.
There'll be like a scandal every day. No one cares. Like
Or a
in the
school
next
shooting.
day. Yeah.
I was fucking talking about today at my work actually about how desensitized we are to normal shit. You know, or all this bad shit's happening now. You know, like school shootings and all these things. You know, it's like the news is so negative, and it's always towards that because of advertisements. And if they can show they have higher ratings, they can get more money, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So they'll put on the school shooter all fucking day long. They'll put on anybody who does something bad all day fucking long to get the money in. And that fucking like pollutes the mind of the masses, I feel like.
Yeah, and the same thing is happening online. And that's one of the cons of like this early internet era, like because we're just figuring out how to use like social media and shit. And you know, it's like everyone's addicted to their screens and social media, and everyone's on their phone 24/7, and it's like, and it, you know, studies show it's like everyone's depressed and it's unhealthy.
Right.
And the reason is it's like an accident because of the algorithms now, because you know, like Facebook, it shows you more of like what you normally interact with.
What you like.
And so people are like sharing all, ooh, climate change, what? Oh, Trump did what? All this shit that's pissing them off, and they keep reading more and sharing it. And then so the algorithm is like, oh, you want to see more of this shit that pisses you off?
It up, yeah.
It's literally like it's not really anyone's fault, really. It's just like the algorithm is set up to show you more of what you want, but it's so easy to like find and read and share and like get upset about like fucked up shit.
Fucking exactly.
You know, your whole news feed is just fucked up shit that's like depressing you and pissing you off. It's like, oh, this world's gone to shit. It's like, really, it's just like a cloud of like, you're just seeing all the bad shit at once. It's like, there's a lot of good shit, but you're just looking at only the bad shit because
exactly. And then every once in a while you'll find that one good post of like a soldier doing something really cool, or like doing a coming home thing or something like that. And that gets shared a few times, but it's majoritively the negative news. And I think what social media has done a very good job on is capitalizing on the rabbit hole, to speak. You know, when you're at YouTube, right? You're on YouTube and you're searching videos. Yeah. Oh, that's a related video. I'll watch that. And then it shows more of that kind of content. I think that's what social media has done to a fucking T, to make you engage and stay on their fucking app so they can report back to advertisers, say, hey, listen, we have people on here for 90% of the fucking day. You know what I mean? You will make money and your ad will be seen if you come shop with us.
Right.
You know?
And it's murky waters navigating this new social media internet stuff. Like, and again, hopefully that will even itself out too.
It's a new frontier.
Getting used to working this shit. Still got the training wheels on. I don't know. But
what do you think about Instagram taking away the likes?
Oh, have they done that already?
They
heard talks about it.
Yeah, so not yet on the all platforms, but they did a trial in Australia. I think it's really powerful. You know what I mean? Because
the likes are there. You can see them, but other people can't.
Exactly.
Correct? Yeah, so I think that's healthy, right?
You get the validation that you want, but
I think that's really good.
It's very good.
And then the other people that are looking don't really have any way to compare. Say they're comparing you to like a Grammy-winning artist or something. They might not know if they don't necessarily know who that person is. Like, oh, right. Young Scrimmage, yeah, sure, he probably has a Grammy too. Like this, you know,
exactly.
Like the comparison way.
Right, but, and people I think are very subject to judge when they don't see amount of likes on a certain picture. You know what I mean? Right. So if they see like, it's been an hour, look at the time and the amount of likes. It's been an hour, you have only 20 likes. I'm not going to like that picture. It's fucking lame, obviously.
Why would I watch that video? It's only got 200 views when this one has fucking 14,000.
Yeah, why does it have 1 million views? I'm going to watch that one instead. That's so not fair to the social platform.
I think it might be good for creators.
Fucking huge. That's the thing. It's huge for creators.
We'll see how it rolls out. And, yeah.
Because I bet the follower count goes up like crazy. You know what I mean? But that goes fucking skyrocket because people will be more engaged with your content.
The only thing is people are gonna, like the artists or whoever themselves, or they can brag if they want to by screenshotting the likes that they can see, and then they'll post that. Like, okay, so whatever.
Yeah, are there insights and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
If he's not posting his insights, don't trust him. Like, they'll be saying shit like that.
Fake
like,
news.
Post your insights, bro. How many, like some shit like that.
Matching and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We'll see.
That's a possibility, man.
But I think that might be a positive, though, having the likes be hidden or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's very powerful, man. I think that's very good idea, because how many people do you know that are fucking like constantly seeking validation on social media?
Oh my god.
And not using it for its real application of being a personal tool to express yourself.
It's really depressing.
It's fucking depressing.
Like, you got a supercomputer in your pocket, and you could immensely improve your life by like using your phone in like smart ways.
Using this thing.
Yeah. Or you can just like ruin your life by like getting into Twitter arguments all day. What the fuck? Like,
yeah,
just hating yourself because you're just like arguing all the time.
Because you're judging and comparing yourself to others. Like, people who have the capacity of anger have a lot of suffering they need to deal with themselves, I think, personally.
Mm-hmm.
And people who have jealousy and despair in their hearts, that's all poison in your system, you know what I mean? And when you see somebody, like, if I was to look at Metro Boomin's likes and be offended and call him like a pussy or something like that, he can never do what I do or something like that because I feel jealous and enraged, that's such a weak fucking move. If you feel yourself getting jealous and like this fucking feeling in your heart that like, I'm better than that person, why am I not getting these likes? You need to step up your own life, I think, in general, and make yourself feel more positively, affirmed with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
why are you judging yourself compared to other people? Why are you comparing and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
It's important things to think about,
Yeah, comparison can like ruin your life.
Right, and there's a lot of people who overconsume comparison. That's what I would call it, overconsumption of comparison. That's what social media is.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone's got to have like flaunt their social media life when in reality it's like ain't shit. What they portray it to be.
Yep. And that goes for anything in their personal life, their relationships or their job or something like that. It looks fucking grandiose, but behind the scenes, they're probably comparing themselves to the next guy and trying to match that dude.
Yeah. And I don't think everyone's like an idiot. I think the audience as in everyone who might see your stuff online or whatever, they're not necessarily all idiots. Like, if they're a genuine person, I think like smarter people that are genuine can start to see through that. Like, you might be able to tell in certain ways if someone is like trying to just flex for social media or something, in comparison to someone who's just like posting like real shit that's like not even like impressive. It's like, wow, this is really what this person is like.
It's like mildly interesting. I like this type of stuff, right?
Or even showing like, if you're trying to act like a baller all the time, but someone might, you could post something embarrassing of yourself or something like in a comedic way even.
Sure.
Where it's like, oh, this person is like genuine. Like, they're not like trying to put up some fake image. And those might be the types of people that gain more following, I guess.
Sure.
Bigger following, I think.
Because they try to confirm the validation across the masses by showing their luxurious lifestyle and shit.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like a plague, really, and it's causing a lot of depression and anxiety.
It's horrible for like kids.
Yes.
If you're a teenager or younger, and
Fuck.
God,
I remember when I was coming up, in high school and shit, dude. Fuck, man, like, that's when it really started kicking off, and like, the popular people would get the fucking all the likes, and you post something, like, get 20 or 30 likes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And you have that comparison, and that's how it starts. It's very young, it's very innocent, but then it like gets worse and worse.
I'm so glad like I'm not in like school anymore.
Yeah,
like,
it'd be a tough climate nowadays.
Especially if you were. It sucks if you're a kid that was like bullied or anything. You gotta take that shit home with you now.
Yeah.
Before you could just like leave it at school or.
And get pissed off at your house about it, but you could
at least escape.
You can self-diagnose what's happening and like, go to your video games. But let's say some guy hops on Xbox Live and goes to your school and bullies you on fucking the internet that way, you know what I mean? That could happen too.
Yeah.
It's fucking
gotta be rough, man.
It's rough, man. It's a dog-eats-dog world out there. And I think people should stop being dogs, be more like puppies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start loving.
I think all the good people are coming around. There's still a lot of assholes out there, but
yeah,
either we'll do away with them or change them.
They have to change themselves.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, fuck those people, man.
Right.
I don't live my life on their terms.
Right.
I never will, never will have. Never have, never will.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, no. I got to get you out of here, man.
That's right. I do have a session here at 8 o'clock in 4 minutes. So
We went down the rabbit hole a bit there, man.
Fucking insane, man. That's a great conversation.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wish we'd keep going, but we'll get you back in here again someday.
Of course. Why not?
Hell yeah, sir. Well, tell them. Social media shits.
So you can, like we discussed before the podcast, you can Google me if you want to, Young Scrimmage, or on all social media handles. I'm Young Scrimmage, YOUNGSCRIMMAGE. Also, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, and all streaming services. So check me out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's funny we're just talking about all this social media shit. Now go watch him flex on social media.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's so much better than you.
Sometimes.
The music is though.
Right.
Hell
I'm a
yeah.
very humble man, but I'm better than you. It's fine.
So much better than you, dude. Don't even try. Hell yeah, dude. Well, thank you again for being here.
Of course, my pleasure.
Very fun.
It was an honor.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess until next time, we'll see you around. Goodbye.